this. He knows everything. Heat far. Got my boy Tom Ross TV, aka Mr. Tom Ross TV, in the fucking building. We about to give you motherfuckers this shit raw. We're gonna give you that motherfucking shit. Keeping foot on the
You coming on broken, bro.
We bringing that heat and that fart. What's up, y'all? Tom Ross, man, talk to these people. What's up with you, bro?
Not much, man. We're here to separate the weak from the strong. Got some good topics for you. Yep.
All right. First thing and foremost, Deshaun Watson, man. I saw a headline for Deshaun Watson and them basically saying that Deshaun Watson, I can't believe the Cleveland Browns got the devil going to play for them. I even saw another headline for Deshaun Watson where they talked about Deshaun Watson being creepy. This man is acquitted of all charges. This man has been dismissed of all charges.
Yeah,
this man is innocent.
It's not even acquitted. It didn't even
this
go
man
to trial.
is no longer guilty. Yeah. Instead of the good old boy nation. Exactly. And instead of the good old boy nation admitting the shit and taking the shit for what it is, you know what they end up doing? They end up getting on that bullshit and that fuck shit. So my thing, Tom Ross, and I feel like it's a conversation we need to have, is when are they going to stop this whole marginalization and degradation of the unapologetic brother?
It's never going to stop because being unapologetically black is a spirit God gives you. Being unapologetically black means you're in tune with who you are. It means you know you're chosen. So whenever they see that, they're gonna attack it because that's not the nigger they raised you to be on the plantation. They didn't raise slaves to be unapologetically black. They didn't teach your grandfather, your great grandfather, to be unapologetically black. They teach them to put their head down when they see white men. So when you are unapologetically black, they know that's that slave. Not that slave. They know that's that Hebrew spirit. They know that's that you're a chosen one because you're bucking against the system. So they're never going to stop attacking people like that.
And why you say Hebrew spirit? Why you say chosen one? Like, I want you to delve into that a little bit more so that the audience can understand the chosen people, Hebrew Israelites, and why you use those terminologies per se.
Let me get something to dump these ashes real quick. I say that because on YouTube they've made it into just a YouTube topic, and they made being chosen. They made it a global thing. Well, really, it's a specific race that's chosen, and the scripture even tell you that. When you hear people talking about it on YouTube, they expand it to it could be anybody. The Bible is very specific to which group of people are chosen by God Himself and everybody else. It's always a separation. When you hear these people on YouTube, they're like, "Oh, chosen, you're chosen. If your heart ever been broken, you're chosen." That's not true. If you ever went through any pain, you're chosen. That's not true. Everybody whose heart has been broken is not chosen. That's a part of being alive. See, what they've done is they have monetized and took bits and pieces of scripture and made it for everyone so they could get everyone's money.
Yep.
These spiritual people, they're no different than TD Jason because anyone who reads scripture knows it's not a book full of everything you want to hear. And
Mm-hmm.
what they do is basically they take their grievances with the world and then they make a like a cult out of it.
Mm-hmm.
If a man ever left you for another woman, you're a chosen one. That's not what the scriptures say, man.
Hmm.
The scriptures give you the direct description of those who are chosen in Deuteronomy 28 chapter, the whole
Mm-hmm.
chapter. So you and your people will have to go through a certain litany of things
Mm-hmm.
to mark you. There's only one group of people to have gone through these things in the entire world, the way that they went through them.
Mm-hmm.
Deuteronomy 28 breaks those people down.
Mm-hmm.
The Apocrypha, the part of the real Bible, goes into detail with Deuteronomy 28 is talking about. So it predicts single parent households. It predicts um, mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
It predicts. I'm not gonna sit here and break out this because this ain't no Bible study. So I'm not gonna sit here and go through scripture line for line. If you people who really want to, people who really care, you know how to read Deuteronomy 28, the 28th
Mm-hmm.
chapter. It predicts fathers leaving the home. It predicts women not getting along with men.
Yep.
It predicts a certain group of people going through slavery on ships.
Mm-hmm.
It predicts a litany of things that we, as Black Americans, as Caribbean blacks, as Afro Latinos, as Native
Mm-hmm.
Americans have went through. The only people on the face of the earth who have gone through all of these things are currently going through them. That
Mm-hmm.
marks who are chosen. So when you see these videos, oh, you're chosen. If someone ever doubted you, that's because you were chosen, man. People get doubted every day. That don't mean they're chosen.
Mm-hmm.
If everyone's chosen, there's no chosen people.
Mm-hmm.
There's a group of specific people who go through things if they don't do things the way God wants them to do. So that's what I mean by that.
I'm glad you said that because you're absolutely right. Chosen, there's a specific people that are chosen. God did talk about those specific people in Deuteronomy. He talked about them in Numbers. He talked about them in Exodus. He talked about them in Genesis.
Whole Bible's about them.
Yeah, he talked about them in Judges. Shoot, Samson himself, with all of his raging strength. If we remember in the good book, they talked about how Samson was looked like me and he looked like you.
Well, what people don't realize is it was a point on the earth where everybody looked like me and they looked like you.
Mm-hmm.
So people were separated not by their color. The
Mm-hmm.
color didn't come in until the white man came on the scene and started mixing himself among us.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there was a group of people by nature who they were, by characteristics of how they lived that were set apart. Because these people, when Jesus wanted to flee the Romans, where he went? He went to Egypt.
Yep.
Why he go to Egypt? Because he looked like those people. He was dark like them. But he wasn't them.
Yep.
That's what black people don't understand. All because someone's dark like you don't mean y'all the same people.
Yep.
It don't. Not because somebody's lighter skinned don't mean they're not your people. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
know these people by their fruits. You gotta know them by their mindset and by their heart, man. You could tell
Yep.
somebody ain't of you when they so crazy upstrong for the white man.
Yep. And you
It's not
see,
even in your. If you're a Hebrew, it's not in your spirit to be
and you
like
got to
that.
understand why Samson broke God's commandments and he broke God's covenant and he broke God's law because Samson was a black man that Delilah was the white woman and God didn't want Samson to mix with Delilah's nation. I mean, let's just be honest. Didn't even want Samson to get his hair cut.
Yeah,
Clearly, if you're really paying attention to the
the,
situation,
Delilah was actually an African woman, but yeah, she wasn't no Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't no Hebrew. But yeah, you're right. And that's what, truth be told, that's what's happening to Kanye right now, because Kanye wasn't ever supposed to even be with Kim Kardashian.
Mm-hmm.
So God's whipping him into shape. But even then, that's not for us to say, "Oh, look at Kanye." No, because we do it too. I've been with people that's not Hebrews all the time. So,
Yep.
so, 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 so I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of other things. I probably shouldn't be smoking this right now. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
perfect. We're not perfect. But all because he made a did something, that don't mean they got the right to do what they do. That's what people realize is God is a very complicated God. He will use other races to punish us, but then he will still punish those races because we his people. You know what I'm saying? If they go
Exactly.
for if they take things too far, he will punish those in the scriptures, man. So yeah, these other races been used to punish us to get us in shape when we don't do what God tells us to do. And then next you know, they get punished severely because they be going too far.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so just like Samson,
Because his hair was long, and I believe I wasn't there. You weren't there. None of us was there, but I believe that his hair should have been dreads. I believe his hair was dreads. I believe his hair was dreaded. I believe he had dreads. I believe his hair was
if you're a
long
black
and it
person
was
and you let your
braided.
hair grow long, and without touching it, your hair gonna dread up. So come on, it was dreads. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Unless it was getting braided. Either way it goes, it was
Hmm.
knotted.
And I believe that God's strength was tied in his hair. His hair represented God's strength, and it also represented the strength that God gave him. And God didn't want that hair to be cut. That was literal and figurative at the same time. Basically, figurative in the sense of your manhood is tied within the strength of your hair. So do not give up your manhood. But literal in the sense of his hair itself represented the strength of God, represented the covenant that he had with God, represented the promise that God had for him and where he was going to go moving forward. And ultimately, what ended up happening, he broke that. And see, when our chosen people break God's covenant, we have to pay a price. Either we're going to be wandering the desert for 40 years or 40 nights, or it could lead to something as simple as death, or something as tragic as death.
But the thing is, there's a connect, not just to the hair on your head. There's a
Hmm.
connection to God and this your hair, period. Because even your, it's the reason why the scripture say we. It don't say everybody. It say we aren't supposed to cut our beards.
Hmm.
Like not shave them down. We're not supposed to cut the mar the edges. So you're not supposed to shave your face clean.
Hmm.
We're never supposed to have a clean shaven face. Like the Egyptians used to have clean shaven faces, and everybody. We're not supposed to do that. And what I noticed was on my spiritual journey, I remember at first I wasn't always able to wear my beard.
Yeah.
They started loosening it up. And then I had finally got in like 2014. I finally got the authorization to wear my beard, and it was like immediately I started understanding things on a different level. I'm not lying, man. My discernment had opened up even more to where it wasn't just, come on, we all know that racism and we all know that they don't like us as a people. But it was more so understanding where God coming to play at with all this. You know what I'm saying? And no one had to tell me that we were chosen. It was kind of like it started coming to me. And then when I started reading the Bible, I started reading it in a different way. I started seeing it in a different way. But it started, believe it or not, it started coming when I started wearing my facial hair. There's strength in it. I bullshit you not. There's strength in it, man. So
Hmm.
imagine if you're a Nazarite and you make a vow. So the Nazarites made vows to never cut their hair.
Yep.
So now you have all that power within your hair. You have a full beard. And there is an energy. Cause I remember when I used to wear, I used to have a long hair. And when it was hot outside, you could feel the electricity in your head.
Yep.
And that used to always irritate me because I didn't know what that was. You could feel it. It was like your hair. It was like your hair was conducting like energy. You could feel. You know what I'm talking about? It was like a buzz.
Because
like,
there's power in it. There's spiritual power in it, because God even talks about hair in the Bible, because he says God knows the number of hair or hairs that's on your head. So hair is symbolic of strength.
round. Yo, what's up? Salute. Hey, so if I interrupt you, it's because I got my own live going and people are they're coming in. So
That's perfect,
yeah,
because it's still connected to ours. So that's
yeah.
perfect. You know, it's the number of hair that's connected on your head. And what people got to understand is hair is something that represents strength, but hair also represents beauty, and hair represents a solid foundation. It represents a rocky foundation. So when you cut your hair, you're on a sandy foundation. You're in a quicksand. This is what was happening to Samson. When
Why you
Samson
think?
cut his hair, he went from having stability, having structure, to then all of a sudden his world ended. His eyes, all of a sudden, his eyesight was gone. He got blinded. He lost all his wherewithal. Like you just said, when your face was shaved, right? And you didn't have
Salute, Beast Mode.
a
Yeah,
full hair on your head, you felt at that time you didn't have clarity. And then all of a sudden, like you said, once your hair started to grow and everything started to manifest, boom, you started being able to be more enlightened. And the full version of you became fully uncocked. And then at that point, you were like, man, shit, I'm gonna grow this fucking beard out completely. Fuck this bullshit.
yeah, man. So why you think they always had an attack on a black woman's hair? This ain't just start. A lot of sisters don't understand the reason why black celebrities got to come out and they got to wear wigs and they got to wear weaves because they had to raise the younger generations to wear wigs and wear weaves. That didn't just start here. That goes all the way back. Why you think your grandma and them was wearing wigs and weaves and shit? That
Yep.
go all the way back to Louisiana, like 1800s.
Yep.
It's called the Tignon Law, where
Exactly.
black women couldn't wear their natural hair in public.
Yep.
They had to wear rags over their hair. And it had to be cut. It couldn't be seen. And then, so black women, they so fly, if they had to wear, they didn't buck. They should have bucked. They didn't buck.
Mm-hmm.
They started making these elaborate head wraps. That's where all these head wraps come from back in the day. But the reason why there's an attack on black women's hair because there's a conscience there. Now, if you notice, a lot of black women who wear their natural hair, they're conscious, but they get conscious, but they still have a mentality that we're African, so they go and they delve into everything that's African. Whether it be voodoo, whether it be tarot cards, whether it be everything, they don't know any better. They're just trying to make a connection. You can't really get mad at these women. They're just trying to make. They know their connection ain't with white folks. They're trying to make a connection, but they don't know that they're of the continent. But there's a Israel's on the continent of Africa, but then we're not African people. We just went through Africa running from the Romans. The Romans chased us through Africa. This is what happened. 1780, after they killed Jesus, they chased the real Israelites out of Israel, trying to decimate them. We blended into Africa like we always do. We ended up on the West Coast, and it was like you between a rock and a hard place. Then a couple of centuries after that, English and Spaniards and all these motherfuckers came and picked us off the West Coast of Africa because you can't run from God's judgment. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's gonna happen either way it goes. So that's how that happened. So we picked up a lot of things along the way. So just imagine every time we went to one of these African countries and we came out, it was just like when we came out of Egypt. Remember how you had some of the Israelites still trying to keep the Egyptian cultures and still trying to worship their idols and shit? That was never a part of us.
Yep.
All because we did it doesn't mean that was our culture. We do shit now. We kill each other. Drill music. That ain't our culture.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we picked up here in America. That's not our culture. It's not when you read the script. It's not our culture to kill another black man unless it's out of self-defense. Not if you catch them stealing something in your house, you're supposed to kill them. They're supposed to be forced to pay you back
Mm-hmm.
what they stole double.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're your people. You're not supposed to treat them like enemies. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? But we under the white man law. The white man was. I remember one time I called a 13-year-old break into my shit, and I act like I was going to hit him with a hammer, but I let him
Mm-hmm.
make it. And the white police officer was like, "Man, you should have killed that motherfucker."
Yep.
He said, "I should have killed him." But I used to be that little 13-year-old nigga. He ain't have his hand on nothing, but he was reaching into my shit from the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
and he was reaching down. He was trying to get in. He ain't have his hand on anything. I would have killed
Mm-hmm.
him for nothing. I let him make it. We chased him
Yep.
down the block a little bit with the hammer. And shit. Him and his friends, they skedaddled, but they wanted me to kill him because that's the white man's nature. Kill, 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 kill. And we have a nature of killing, but not nobody else but our own people.
Facts.
So where did we learn how to have that nature just to kill everything from them? Who do they
Mm-hmm.
kill? Us. They kill
Yep.
their own people. They have to. They kill us. That's who they kill for fun. They'll kill their own people for politics, for power. They kill black people for fun, man.
Mm-hmm.
So now black people, we kill each other for fun. And we listen to it at the club and we dance to it. We dance to King Von talking about, you know what I'm saying? Here's my story. He's talking about how he got the drop on somebody and he killed them, and we dance to that.
Yep.
That's a sick culture, bro. And the only
Mm-hmm.
way to break it down is you got to actually talk about it, and you got to make people think. We've become so mentally weak that we dance to our destruction. Only the people who don't know who they really are can do that.
Yep.
All these people who know who they are, who know the history of who they are, they have little skirmishes within each other, but it's not a culture to kill each other. It's not a culture in the Chinese community for them to kill each other. It's not a culture. It happens because of proximity, but it's not a genre of music. It's not a genre of movies, right? It's not niggas making YouTube talking about they go. It's not accepted. It's just something that happens because of proximity. In our culture, niggas live to do it.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
And it's interesting that you said that because going into what you were talking about, Abraham, his nativity was in the land of the Urs of the Chaldees, right? That's where his father, Terah, and the lineage of all of them came about. His father passes away, and God says, "Hey, I want to take you from your nativity of the land of Ur of the Chaldees, and I want you to go to the land of Canaan." So it was interesting that you talked about that lineage and you broke that down the way that you did, because if you look at geographically where these places are located, it's not Africa. The land of Canaan is modern day what we would know as Mesopotamia, which modern day, if you keep going fast forward, more in a Middle Eastern place. It's not in no African place. It's not geographically located there. So it's interesting that you broke down that lineage and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
explained
And there's something quick about we know things as they are today. People need
that.
to
Hmm.
realize the people who were naturally there are not there anymore, and those names aren't those names. Africa
Exactly.
has been named after a white person. That Africa came from Africanus, a white general. I
Hmm.
think he was Greek.
Hmm.
The Americas is named after Amerigo Vespucci,
Hmm.
which is basically a navigator, like what I do, an Italian navigator, a chart maker.
Hmm.
So these names, these countries have been renamed. These people have been misplaced.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So the people that's in Egypt now ain't the true Egyptians. The true Egyptians look like us. That's how Jesus was able to go to Egypt, and while they were trying to kill him when he was a baby. Those ain't the true Egyptians.
Hmm.
So everything's been upside down. So we had to keep that in mind. You know what I mean?
That's true. And the
Yeah.
beautiful part about it, and I'm glad that you explained that, is all of these places of nativity from where Adam came from and then where God was taking him to the land of Canaan. You got to understand, he had provisions, he had land, he had wealth. He wasn't broke. Like they want to tell you how we were, like we are today as people that's oppressed. We weren't like that before. Adam was not poor. Adam had horses, he had cows, he had wives, he had land. And he moved from that to the chosen place where God was going to take him to then create down the lineage of the Hebrew Israelites that has formed from generation after generation. If we didn't fall out of God's will and we didn't fall out of God's commandments and break God's covenant, we wouldn't have been taken into captivity. We wouldn't have been taken into slavery.
Right.
But these things had to happen. So, hence, because they happened, it speaks to Tom Ross's point of us being confused, us being divided, us being moved from one place to the next, being moved geographically to places that really didn't belong to us, and adopting spiritualities and adopting religions that don't even belong to us in the first place. And that's why you have a lot of black folks say they're into Egyptology, or they are 3%ers, or the third eye concept. They believe in all this bullshit because they've been scattered abroad. They've been removed from their natural essence.
But you have to listen to these people. The thing people don't realize is God, He does things in decent and in order. So me, when I'm talking about my desires or what I have planned for my channel, when I'm talking about movies or whatever, I may go from because my mind fires a different way. I may go from topic to topic, blase, 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 and somebody who could speak with me, they can keep up. But when I'm talking about with God's business, the scripture, I'm in decent and in order. If I don't know something, I'm gonna speak, and I won't get too in detail unless I have a Bible open. But when you listen to somebody who's into that, we listen to somebody who's into tarot readings or someone who's into Egyptology. When you listen, they're everywhere. Nothing means anything. There's no lines of demarcation anywhere. There's no lines of delineation anywhere. Everything is everything, and there's anarchy. There's no anarchy in the Godhead when you're dealing with God. Two things you gotta know: either when you're dealing with God, either you're gonna do what He's telling you to do, or you're gonna be made to do it.
Facts.
There ain't even no rebellion. You'll just get beat into submission until you finally do it.
Yep.
You always gonna do what God's telling you to do, no matter what.
Yep.
You might have had an inclination, I need to leave my job. You don't leave it. Next thing you know, you catch a hell on that goddamn job.
Yep.
So you can't stay there no more.
Yep.
God might tell you, man, this woman not gonna be for you. But you might really like that woman.
Yep.
You know that woman giving you hell, man, every day. Because God, people don't realize He sent good spirits and He sent evil spirits. They all do His work.
Yep.
He said, man. He said, what he said? He said, I make war. He said, I do good and I do evil. I'm the Lord. I do all things. God is about balance.
I was just about to say that, but you said it.
Yeah, He's about balance. He's what they good and evil. That's Marvel, man. God is about justice. If you deserve evil in your life, He'll send you evil. And if you deserve good, He's gonna send you good.
And people of God themselves don't want to accept that. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to accept that He says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things.
I do all
Isaiah
things.
45:7.
I do everything, man. He said, I get into everything. Basically, whatever you deserve is what you're going to get. The only reason why when you sin, you don't die on the spot because you have your house interceding on your behalf. Reminding God you're still a human being. That's it, man. But, man, yeah, man, like whenever you feel like everything's happening to you, and you can't get a break, you need to recalibrate that. How I've been living lately.
Yep.
How I've been living lately, man. I remember there was and we saying all this for, I know y'all probably ready for us. Hey, man, speak on DeShaun Jackson. And really, we speaking on it, but we're giving you...
Rough. Ross, the spirit of the Lord is touching you right now. Screw what they thinking. Go ahead,
You know what I'm saying?
minister to them.
Yeah, I
Minister to
would say
them,
all
bro.
that because I ain't no preacher, but
But right now, you got to minister to their ass, dog.
yeah,
Because I
yeah,
feel that spirit on you.
yeah. I want, yeah. I kind of stay away from that because I ain't no preacher. But um,
You
what I
don't
was
need to
gonna
be a
say,
preacher. You don't need to be a preacher for that spirit to be touching you. Right now, it's touching you, man.
yeah. Damn, I forgot it, man. Yeah, man. Go ahead.
The thing is, and people got to understand is, God works in so many different ways. And it took a long time for me to understand that. And that's why I'm glad Ross said what he said. Because when I stumbled across that scripture in Isaiah 45:7, that startled me. That scared me. At the same time, I was like, that makes sense because when you look at Job, right, and what Job went through, um, Satan had to ask for permission in order for him to tempt Job. But who was he asking permission from? He was
God.
asking permission from God. Ain't that something?
Yeah.
Like God was allowing this thing to happen, and Job was going through it, man. This man was going through hell. But God was like, look, man, I'm not gonna give you no more than you can bear. And he knew Job could handle it. He knew it. But Job had got to a breaking point, and Job got to a point where he couldn't take it no more, and God had to step in. Because God knows what your breaking point is. He'll step in. And he stepped in, and throughout, Job was obedient. So because Job was obedient and Job wasn't able to be swayed, he ended up getting a double portion. So why am I saying that? Because it speaks to what Ross is talking about. Either you're gonna be that person that's gonna have that revolving cycle of God's gonna have to allow these things to continue to manifest and happen, and you just gonna have rough situations and rough patches that happen in your life over and over and over and over again until it hits you upside the head, or you're gonna be that person that's gonna get it. And then now God can move and continue to incline and allow you to move into your destiny. This is the difference between people that understand their passion, they understand their ideology and what they're doing versus people that don't. I talked about this with Ross when we powwowed, and I said the reason why your channel is doing what it's doing is because you got a clear message. And that's how it works with, the YouTube metrics and the algorithms and all of that. Your message has to be clear. The dude's channel is called Tom Ross TV Raw. He's giving you this shit raw. His name is Tom Ross, and he actually is a TV. So what you're getting is entertainment in all forms, in all facets, in all variations, but you're getting it the way that he could explain it to you in a raw fashion because in his nature, he is raw. That's a clear fucking message. A lot of times, our namesake, our brand is our message if we pay attention. And if we just follow and we follow through with the brand itself and the name of the brand, that's where the clarity comes into play. And today he's on his Tom Ross TV swag. I know this to be true because I know that hat. I haven't seen that hat since the profile. You see, I pay attention. Right now he's in Tom Ross TV mode right now. That's the other channel, by the way. And that channel right there is getting ready to do over 1,000 subs. Has it passed over 1,000 yet, or is right on the brink?
996, I think.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
and you damn near hitting 1,000,000 subs, right?
No, not a million subs. A million views.
A
Yeah,
million views. My bad.
yeah. I
That's
wish.
what I meant to say. You damn near hitting 1,000,000 views.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah.
This is unprecedented, man, and y'all need to salute this brother. Because this brother got one channel that's at 1,000,000 views, and he got another channel that hit triple platinum with well over 3,000,000 views. If you add it together, that's 4,000,000 views. This man right here is 4 times platinum. We haven't seen 4 times platinum since the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. That is nasty, bruh. That's nasty.
All right. Now, this is a question I want to address. And I guess it could be, and it's on the topic. Guy said, and this is the only one because we're trying to get people to donate to motivate. But the guy said, "What do we think about movies coming out more and more with gay people in the movies, and particularly it always be like gay black people, and that everything people need to realize is this: pretty much everything they tell us that we should be doing as a people, I mean specifically us, they're gonna make a trend for us to do the opposite. Scripture say men should lay down with men. You're gonna see men laying down with men in the movies. A trend. Say women should lay down with women. You're gonna see women laying down with women in the movies. It's a trend. Now they're trying to make it acceptable for men to lay down and women to lay down with kids. Anything guys say you're not supposed to do, they're gonna make it a trend. Everything. That's the reason why you're seeing that. But to tie this all together, that's the reason why people like Lamar Jackson, DeShaun Watson, Kanye West, guys who stand up and be like, "Nah, man, y'all not gonna use me." Blah blah blah. The reason why they get attacked is they're being made an example of. The people you see who the media don't attack like that is because they don't stand up like that. It's like a hammer, right? And a nail. You don't hit the nails that's in their place. You hit the ones that stand up. You hit the ones that's not doing what you want them to do. You'll hit the ones that's already fastened down. So you know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why you see certain people in the media who always feel like they're getting attacked is because you gotta look at what they're saying. What they're saying in their music. What are they saying in their interviews? There's gotta be something that the establishment don't like. What are they doing? You know what I'm saying? What are they doing?
But particularly who's being impacted by this? Notice who are they emasculating when they do the homosexuality? Black men. If you notice, most of the favorite shows, shit, you cover Snowfall, I cover Power. There's a lot of shows out there that are a lot of people's favorite shows. Who are the people that they attack with the homosexuality more than anybody else? It's the black people. And who primarily? The black male. Who has accepted that? The black male, the emasculation of the black male.
It's not a trend until we accept it. That's why. They come out with it. It's like this. Because I was arguing with this dude the other day on my community post. He said the only people I saw speaking about Deshaun Watson was actually black people. I said, yeah, because we making a trend. We run with it. But we don't have the originality when it comes to hating our own people. It's not a natural thought for a black man to say, "Oh, Deshaun Watson's still a rapist." It came out on ESPN. Then black niggas, instead of questioning it, they said, "Oh, I could use this to go viral." They started making memes. At the expense of their own brother. We make their law, we make it trendy. If we buck it, it won't. Then it's over with. We cut it. We dead it. You know what I'm saying? If we buck it, we dead the trend. But Skip Bayless yesterday came out, called Lamar Jackson, and not Lamar Jackson came out and he called Deshaun Watson. He said, yeah, man, I can't believe they're replacing Baker Mayfield with somebody that's viewed as a rapist. All of them started. They all had the same narrative, and instead of us bucking it, it's saying like, no, he's innocent until proven guilty. We just started making memes. And once we do that, we make it law because we're the flavor of the earth. We're the salt of the earth. We make shit stick. If the black community reject it, it is what it is. The reason why Eminem could still be considered a rapper is because black people accepted him. It wouldn't matter how many records he sold by white people. If we didn't accept him in hip hop, he wouldn't have been in hip hop.
Exactly.
If he would have get no stamp for black people, he wouldn't be able to do it. Because the thing is, the reason why they got behind him so much because we accepted him. And we were like, man, we don't listen to. He'd have been just like Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice came out, we didn't accept Vanilla Ice. So it didn't matter that he went 5 times, 6 times platinum. The next album, they ain't supporting because we ain't supporting.
Exactly.
We ain't buy it, so they didn't buy it.
Yep.
We really are the wave, but we take cues from them instead of making our own cues.
Exactly.
And that's why I get so much like pushback on my channel because I'm pushing against everything that's popular because I see through it.
Yep.
I see through everything that's popular, and I see through the bullshit. It's a narrative they gave us, and we running with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I create my own. I create the narrative that's right.
Yep.
So it's gonna have people be like, "Oh yeah, I agree." It's gonna have people saying they don't like it, but at the end of the day, it's controversy because it makes people go through what they call cognitive dissonance.
Yep. You preach,
when
man.
When you've been told all your life this is one way,
Mm-hmm.
then you hear somebody else tell you it's the opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna make you feel irritated, and it's gonna be something you never forget when you heard it.
Interesting you said that because I'm gonna throw one comment on my end because I think it's powerful to talk about that because that's what I felt happened in the show Power. And the king said in the Power they took the black man Ghost out and they had his wife and his son take over. Shaking my head. That wasn't by coincidence, man. That was on purpose to do that because Ghost was too powerful.
Yeah.
The idea of James St. Patrick being 3 to 7 steps ahead of every fucking body else, dominating Simon Stern the way that he did, having Tommy, a white guy who is his partner, being under him and being basically slower than him, and he's having to move the chess pieces. That was too dangerous. That ideology was too dangerous. So they had to get rid of him. They had to kill him. And they had to have his son be the one to fucking do it.
Yeah.
If people are not paying attention and seeing how they had to break down the unapologetic brother and they had to marginalize him and basically leave him in a broken situation, that's something different. And he was basically working to get out of the game so that he can impact, because this guy was talking about having clubs, the truth, every fucking where, all 50 states and internationally. No, they didn't want that to fucking happen. They had to get rid of him. And if you notice, once they got rid of him, they got rid of even showcasing anything in premonitions, thoughts, visions of him coming back to talk to his son. Because usually in a show, right, any great show, if you kill a character off, you would bring them back, right, and have them re-image themselves in the memory of the person. No, They don't do that. They give the son a letter where the dad is talking shit to him and saying, yeah, nigga, I told you your ass would end up here. See, this is how they break us fucking down, man.
And then you gotta think about it. And that's the reason why in real life, who's the James St. Patrick in real life? Kanye is.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice the average black person don't like Kanye.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with what they say they don't like him for. It's the very fact that they cannot relate.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they see him succeed so much, instead of saying, damn, man, I'm inspired, they see their inferiority.
Yep.
They see their flaws.
Yep.
That's how they've groomed us to see other people who are successful.
Yep.
We don't see how great they are. We look for reasons not to like them.
Yep.
Because if they're that great, that means I ain't shit. But really, your life don't got nothing to do with theirs. We all got our own path, man.
Mm-hmm.
So they viewed us to automatically look for something that's wrong with somebody that's great. So we really see great black men through the eyes of white people.
Facts.
That's what they do when they see great black men. They look to see, oh, I told you he was a nigga. Mm-hmm. Let's see if we can make him mad today. Let's do some low-key racist shit so he can get angry. See, there he goes. He's mad.
Yep.
That's what they doing. She posts his daughter with makeup on her. Mm-hmm. We all know TikTok is full of pedophiles.
Mm-hmm.
She know he don't like that. And then when he gets upset, look, he's upset.
Exactly.
So when he does what a father's supposed to do, care about his kid, he's upset. That's gaslighting.
Yep. And they did the same shit, Ross. They did the same shit to Kanan Stark. Because Kanan Stark was James St. Patrick's teacher. Kanan Stark was the incomplete version of what James St. Patrick became. James St. Patrick looked at what Kanan Stark did and was like, okay, I'm going to become a complete package. I'm not just going to keep it street. I'm going to have an end game, an end result. But Kanan Stark was an unapologetic brother. Who ended up killing Kanan Stark? It didn't happen by his hand, but vicariously through his hand, Tariq St. Patrick again.
Right.
Because he snitched on the cops, got the cops there, and they shot fucking Kanan Stark up.
Really? All majority of the things that happen by Tariq's hand is not even his hand. It's his mother's hand.
Exactly. Because his mother was the one that got him to set up Kanan Stark. His mother was the one that got him to kill James St. Patrick. And see, this right here speaks to the volumes of when in a black household, things are in disarray and they're not in order. And we have a situation where the woman is governing things and not the man, and the woman is out of order, then this is how the family ends up in disarray. But people are going to be like, well, James St. Patrick, man, you know, he was fucking with Angela Valdez and all of that. You guys have to understand. James St. Patrick was basically telling Tasha, look, I see this shit on a bigger scale here. This is you gotta follow the domino pieces here. You gotta follow the chess pieces here. We need to get the fuck up out of this game. This shit does one or two things. It makes you 6 feet under, or your ass end up in fucking jail. This is where it's at. No, yeah, I looked at the receipts. I looked at the money you was making from Truth and the money you was making from that based on what you was doing. I didn't marry this nigga. I married the nigga that was grimy. See, this is the problem. When you going someplace and you taking yourself to the next level, motherfuckers can't keep up. So they got to get left behind. So the ideology of James St. Patrick messing with Angela Valdez was to represent that Tasha needed to be left the fuck behind. But people were blaming James and was basically saying he was being a fatherless father and not taking care of his home. No.
How was that when nobody worked in his house except for him?
Exactly.
A man got a few things he's obligated to do for you. Everything else depends on what type of man he was raised to be. But he need to provide shelter for you, put clothes on your back, and he need to feed you, man.
Yep.
Nowadays, you got women who think that's what they supposed to know. The woman's supposed to teach you. She's supposed to nurture you and make sure you eat correctly.
Yep.
Those are the things, man. And those things are enough. Because I know niggas who grew up with none of that.
Yep.
And are successful. So if you had those things from your mother and your father, you supposed to be all right.
Yep.
So they make it seem like a nigga supposed to run 3 or 4 businesses to come home, cook it clean, tuck niggas into the bed, and hold them while they cry. Like, bro, a man don't have all the time in the world to do all that.
Yep.
If he's doing all that, what is his fucking mother doing?
Yep.
He can't come home and lay down a law. If he coming home dead tired and the mother sitting up watching TV and he doing everything around the house. Men don't realize the reason why you think you're supposed to do everything and your woman not supposed to do nothing because you was raised by a woman. That's her dream life.
Facts.
She creating you to be the man she wanted, and that's the reason why she don't got a man.
Yeah.
Because no real man gonna do that.
Yep.
So she created you to be the man that she always wanted.
Facts.
The nigga gonna do everything outside, come home, do everything inside, but she don't gotta do shit.
Yep. And that's why men don't want women that are too successful. You want to know why? Because in the woman's too success, what she does with that is she gives herself an excuse or a license for her to say, I cannot treat you as the man that you need to be. Fuck the bullshit. We can get a maid. We can get a nanny. No, that's your fucking job. Why we need a fucking nanny and a maid to do that? And they wonder why, like Arnold Schwarzenegger started fucking the nanny and the maid. I wonder why. And he had a kid with the nanny and the maid. I wonder why.
A man always gonna choose the most feminine woman in the house, man. If you bring a woman in the house doing everything you're supposed to do, and you trying to compete with me, see who bringing the most money this year, you have now moved into a masculine frame. And then I now see this woman as what you should be. That's natural. Why do you think niggas who do everything in the house always get left for a nigga that don't do shit? Because she got you doing all that, but her inner desires, her urges, don't. That's not what she wants. She want a man to finally tell her, "No, I'm not doing that. You go do it. If you
Mm-hmm.
if you can't do it, I'll find somebody who would." She want that, but niggas is so afraid. They so afraid to say no. Where did they get that from? That's all the slave mentality, man.
Exactly.
Gotta think about it. Master, keep your mama in check. Your mama kept you in check.
Yep.
She was, you know what I mean? With the same tactics that he kept her in check. How did he keep
Yep.
her in check? Gaslighting, narcissism,
Yep.
saying you wrong when you right,
Mm-hmm.
beating the hell out of you. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Psychological games. A lot of niggas don't
Mm-hmm.
realize the reason why they're so susceptible to psychological games with women because they was groomed to be that way by their mother.
Yep.
Whenever you right, me my kid, I raised my daughter like this. I used to say shit that was wrong on purpose, so she would have to correct me. But I know, Dad, I think is this, and I
Mm-hmm.
was doing that purposely, so she can know that there's no such thing as you're right, I'm right, even when I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could correct me, that means you could correct anyone. But that also means you should know you can be corrected when you're wrong as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I knew how I was raised. I did not want a daughter to be raised that way, to where she didn't have the mental capacity to to know that people who are older than her could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And some men, they have the mindset to if a woman say something, they just agree because it's a woman, or she could slap me around because she's a woman. She could do whatever she wants because
Yep.
she's a woman. Like, bro, you don't have to worship your woman. That's
Mm-hmm.
not. That's all the other cultures. That's not our culture.
Yep.
We don't worship women.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Because it's our job to just take care of their ass, not worship them. Provide for them. And they do the nurturing, they take care of the kids, and they do what they're supposed to. There was never no situation where a woman was supposed to be so successful to the point to where she doesn't take care of their kid or her kids. I remember being in the gym and watching two couples. I'm gonna tell you this story, Ross. You're gonna laugh your ass off. The man commands 7 figures, the woman makes 6 figures, and she basically I overheard them talking, and she basically said, that's why I have a nanny in the house. And the reason why I have a nanny in the house is so that you don't feel that you have all the power. You see the shit that she's thinking? You see the gaslighting shit she's doing it to this motherfucker? And this is what trips me out. He's accepting the behavior. He got his head down. He's pushing the baby in that cedar, and he's just taking the shit. He's just taking it because all he wants is happy life, happy wife. No, listen, motherfuckers. Happy life, no fucking wife. That's the way that shit's supposed to be. That's what motherfuckers need to start telling themselves. If your ass as a wife can't toe the fucking line and understand that there's a power dynamic here, it can only be one motherfucker that got balls up in this motherfucker. You can't have two motherfuckers with balls. That's the
Yeah, but
shit. There's only one motherfucker that's slanging. But
yeah, but
no, she did
that's
that so that she could have the power dynamic, so that she could basically hold that over his head. Ain't that something?
yeah, that's the reason why they made marriage not a spiritual thing. They made a contractual agreement so you could be stuck. And whenever there's a contractual agreement, human nature make people want to fight for who got the majority control.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why I don't believe in it. Me personally, if I do something with you, I trust you as a family member, and if I get wind you cheated me, it's over with.
That's it.
No, I'm not suing you because I'm not suing you because I ain't signed no contract.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't suing you. I'm just not fucking with you. My absence is gonna hurt you more than me suing you ever will.
Facts.
because I'm an asset to whoever I deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Point blank, period. But the
Mm-hmm.
reason why they made it a contractual thing, so it could be less spiritual, and that way, when it's a contractual thing, what you have is a woman saying, "All right, I don't want to do my wifely duties."
Yep.
Then you got movies, you got TV, and you got radio that's telling them wifely duties are beneath you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically telling them you need to you as a feminist you should be controlling your man,
Yep.
not listening to him. So they're followers, so they're gonna try to do that.
Facts.
If you have a understanding on duty and obligation, they can do that all they want, and you can just find you another wife. But
Yep.
if you stuck contractually, now you got to worry about divvying up home equity, business equity. Depending on how long you've been married, you got to give her half the shit you ever own for the rest of your life.
Yep.
That shit is not how it's supposed to be, man.
And it ain't fun. I can tell you that much.
That shit ain't how it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that time, at that point, because there's so much power on her side, when you go into contractual agreement, you automatically 49% ownership of the business, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just off the fact that women have most control in the dynamic.
Yep. Because
Look
they
at
can
Kanye
cry a
now.
certain way, they can nag a certain way, and then they have a certain look in front of the judge that can sway shit. And if you if let your ass miss any court appointments, let your ass miss any appearances before the judge, that 49% turns real fucking quick. Best believe, because that judge would then slap you and tell you, well, you were the unfit father because look at the type of father you were. You couldn't even show up to court. And it could have
Right.
been anything. Let's say you got in a car accident. Let's say you missed your flight. Let's say some shit really did happen to you, but because you missed court that day, you've already been viewed as unfucking fit. So automatically your 49%, that shit changes. All in one fucking appearance.
And that's the reason why. Right there, that's the reason why Kanye's fighting so hard for his children. You want to know why?
Hmm.
Kanye sees his children as kids. Kim sees her children as assets.
Hmm. And assets leverage.
And Kanye West don't want his children being treated as assets.
But
As
you know why Kim sees her kids as assets? Who taught her that shit? Wasn't
yeah,
it Chris
yeah,
Jenner?
yeah, 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 yeah. I'm trying to get into that. He don't
Mm-hmm.
want his kids seen as assets because that takes away their humanity. It takes away their innocence. Left up to Kim, all her kids will have TikToks. They'll all be TikTok stars, furthering keeping her celebrity status bright.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Kanye West is wanting his children to enjoy life. And you have black people in the black community thinking there's something wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with him saying, keep my daughter off TikTok.
Yep.
Now she got the other little girl, and you notice she ain't putting the boys on TikTok.
Nope.
She putting the girls on TikTok. The ones that he's more sentimental about.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know it's a deliberate attack against this dude. In the black community, we act like we don't know what's going on. Like you ain't have a mother who was doing petty shit to your dad. But that's the reason why you need it. Those of you who don't have a relationship with your father, go out, find him if he's still alive, and get his
Exactly.
side of the story so you can understand what the fuck really happened.
Exactly.
Because most men, the pride of our life is our children, man.
Yep.
We never, no man, no real man ever want to walk away from his kids. So you got to
Mm-hmm.
figure out what the fuck made him say, you know what, fuck all this shit.
Yep.
Fuck everybody, man.
Yep.
What made him break to the point where he said, man, fuck this shit.
Yep. It's interesting you said that because with my mom, I love my mom, right? And when every time I talk to my parents, I love my mom, and I love talking to my mom, et cetera, et cetera. But I never feel complete in the phone call and the conversation until I speak to my father. Why? Because I'm always looking for that wisdom. I'm always looking for that gem. I'm always looking for that jewel. I'm always looking for that nugget that I can get. And I know that only I can get that nugget from him. And that's why it's interesting that you said that, because this is what having an active father, and if you don't have an active father in the home, It's 4 categories: father personality, father role model, you know what I'm saying, or a father figure, one or the other. People can get father figures through when they go through what was the name of that program that people used to go through? They
Big
call that
brother,
shit.
big
Say it
brother,
again.
big brother.
Big brother. They go to Big Brother, you know what I'm saying? These types of programs, they get father figures there. Or if you don't have somebody that's there constantly, it can be a father personality, somebody you watch through a YouTube channel, or someone that you listen to. That's your father personality. Someone that's speaking to you because you didn't have a father, or someone who plays the role of someone who is that strong voice to you. As a man, you need that, because you need that structure. Because let me tell you something, you don't have all your shit together. You don't have all your ducks in a row. And there's a motherfucker that's been there, done that before you, that's walked the walk, that understands the experience line of what it is and what it isn't, and you can learn from their mistakes. You can learn from their situations. You can learn from things. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. My dad drove taxi, and I don't remember the lights ever being cut off. I
No,
don't remember that shit.
he did his job.
I don't remember that shit.
He did his job.
And he
That's
drove a fucking taxi. I don't remember that shit. And you know what's funny? There was a transitional period of when he had finance issues for a number of years. But you know what ended up happening? He didn't have that conversation with my mom. You know who he had that conversation with? He had that conversation with my eldest brother, and my eldest brother held the fort down for like 4 years. I didn't know that shit until I got a lot older. That they had that conversation amongst themselves as men. And initially, my father was against that shit. He was like, "Nah, I don't need you to do that. I'm gonna figure it out." But my eldest brother was like, "Nah, I'm gonna have to do this because I don't want you to lose the house. I don't want you to lose this. I don't want you to lose that." And that's what happened for a 3 to 4 year period while he was transitioning. Boom, he did it. But you see what happened? It was a transition of men. It was a transference of from one man doing it to the next man doing it. You see
yeah,
what I'm saying?
but if your other brother wasn't raised to be a man, he would have never even thought to do that.
Yep.
He would say, "Man, don't take my kids,"
Yep.
and he just been ghost.
Yep.
But he was raised to be a man, so where if he has the means and somebody need it, then he gonna give it.
Yep. Because I was
But
in
that's
I was in middle school and high school when this shit was happening. So the fuck do I know about that? I'm thinking about my activities in middle school and high school. But this is the shit that was happening. And then that explained why, a brother of mine was in college, being business savvy, having calendars called Gator Gals. You know what I'm saying? This man was a hustler. He had, all he had these white girls look posting up naked and shit like that, putting their ass on the fucking calendar. Hey, you charge me a fee, and then charge these motherfuckers. You want to get a gal magazine? You got a bunch of these white people on fucking campus. He's a hustler. He's hustling. He was doing that shit, and then he was running a sperm bank because at that time, sperm banks was a big thing. Guys would come in, drop their little sample, then get their little money for their little sample, and he would take it, run it to the bank, and make the 3 times, 4 times the cut. You know what I'm saying? Like he was hustling. He was doing his thing as a college student doing this shit. This is when I first like started understanding, metrics and dynamics of what business would look like. I didn't understand that shit, but I was like, damn, I was impressed by that. He was using that to send money back to us to take care of us because him and my dad had that little understanding. I'm going through a transition right now. I don't want to do taxi driving anymore. And you know why my dad stopped doing taxi driving? He stopped doing the shit because they kept pulling guns on him. And then one time he said he almost lost his life. He got rolled up. He got pulled the gun on by a brother that looks just like me and you, Ross. Motherfucker was going to rob him of his life. And my dad had to talk to him because my dad, one thing about him, he could lecture your fucking ass off. What saved my dad is his mouth. He lectured the man and told him straight up in his broken English, do you really think that your life is worth the few dollars that I have in my pocket that I'm going to feed my family with? Do you really think it's worth that? Do you think my life is worth that? And do you think your life is worth that? I really want you to think about that for a second. He said, through
yeah,
talking to that guy broke down and the guy cried
yeah.
because he made the guy see it's not that fucking serious.
Yeah, this is a true story, K Nader. So there's a female on my channel who asked, "Was this? Did that really happen?" I was like, "Yeah, it's a true story." Yeah, man, and that goes to show
my father turned around, and I'm glad you said it was you explained to her it was a true story. And my father turned around that day and he said, "You know what? I'm not going to ever drive cab again." And you know why? Because he felt, I've been robbed enough. I've been pointed at gun enough. This is it. I don't want to do this no more. So that's why he started having the financial problems, because he no longer had the lifeblood of what he always knew to do to take care. So he went from that and he transitioned into STS driving. I don't know if y'all had STS in Chicago, but that's where they start driving the elderly people around and shit like that. And they start taking them from place to place. So he transitioned into that.
I'm quite sure he probably had something like that, but I wouldn't know about it.
And the reason why he transitioned into that, because it was safer, because he wasn't dealing with the common people. He was dealing with elderly people that he had to take to their dialysis place, that he had to take them to these common places. So to him, that was a transition. But guess what? He had to go and get a special license for it. So that took a period of time for him to do that. Because as a cab driver, there was a different kind of license, a different chauffeur license that you had and stuff like that. So he went and transitioned from that to that, but that took a period. And when that took that period, financially, there was the hit. Still, mortgage got to get paid. Bills got to get fucking paid. Shit got to get taken care of. And that's when my eldest brother stepped in. I didn't know about this shit until my early 20s.
And so, to bring this all home, the reason why another black person, I use black because that's the colloquial term, but the reason why we can do that to each other because we don't value each other and we don't value ourselves. If you value yourself, you'll value your time. If you value your time, you know you can't spend 10 to 15 years in jail over armed robbery.
Yep.
For anything, right? You just know that you don't have that time to waste sending somebody to jail. You also know that you can't just take somebody else's life, particularly someone who looks like you, man. When you don't have that type of energy for people who enslaved your people. If you don't have that energy for them, you can't have that energy for your own people.
Exactly.
That don't make no sense. Right? But the reason why we could do that is because we have no value. We don't value ourselves. We don't value our people. That we're surrounded by media that's telling us not to value ourselves, not to value our media. And how they perpetuate and how they expand upon that media. When a black man stand up, they make sure he's known as a rapist or you're a rapist. Oh, Kobe, you arrogant as fuck. You talk to white man like we not white. Like you don't look up to us. Or you're a rapist. Lamar Jackson, you want to play, or you want to do shit at the quarterback position nobody ever done before? You're retarded and you're not smart.
Yep.
And you have even black people that eat that up.
Yep.
Read a book sometimes to get your own understanding for you to hear something a white man say and repeat it. Did you know the running back? They say Lamar Jackson is just a running back. Let's say that sentiment is true. Did you know the running backs have the most active brain function on the team because your brain controls your muscles. Your brain controls your agility. That's high brain function. When you have an injury to your brain, guess what? Well, that's what happens. Your motor skills go away.
Exactly.
So people who have great motor skills, who do shit that you can't physically, they have better mental capacity than you do. All the hell they need to learn is the lingo. The difference between a nigga like Peyton Manning that was taught to be a quarterback from the time he was 3, and somebody like Lamar Jackson, when you play quarterback in a public high school in Florida, they just say, man, just your position, make something happen. You don't learn a lot of the shit that these niggas talk At 3 years old, you don't learn that shit till you get to college.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that niggas ain't smart enough, that niggas don't know what they don't know.
Exactly.
Then once they learn it, then you have the media play their games. Now
Yep.
the media don't speak on it. You notice Lamar Jackson dropping dimes off, knocking niggas' dicks and throwing bombs, blase, blase. They act like it don't even happen because now they can't say, "Oh, you're not smart enough." Now they gotta ignore it. So it's never a real journalistic point of view when it comes to black men who are non-apologetic. It's always about tearing down their image. It's always about tearing down their image. Same thing with unapologetic black women. It's a reason why Nicki Minaj could thrive, but they got rid of Lauryn Hill after one album.
Mm-hmm.
And they started saying shit like, "Oh, well, she had sex or something." Man, women have sex. So that's what they do, man. And she wasn't fucking just everybody. She had Wyclef, someone she spent time with a lot, and she had one of the Marley. Those are the only two men that we knew that she ever slept with.
Mm-hmm.
And if she slept with 10 motherfuckers, who cares? Some of y'all mamas slept with 100 motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
That don't give nobody no right to judge nobody, man. At the end of the day, her message was powerful. It had little black girls wanting to be black, wanting to wear their hair natural,
Exactly.
talking about actually falling in love with people and not just
Mm-hmm.
giving their bodies away.
Mm-hmm.
They had to get rid of her to make room
Mm-hmm.
for the trash shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just unapologetic black men who get it. It's unapologetically black women who don't promote hatred between black men and black women.
And you know why they're unapologetic black women? Because they fall up under the unapologetic black man. I've never seen Lauryn Hill come out and trash Rohan Marley. I've seen
Nope.
her support her man, be up
And
under her man, have kids with her
she
man.
has reason to because he used to do dirty shit to her.
That's
And guess
true.
what? She understands that the media thrives off the destruction of a black man. So she probably have her choice of words behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
But in this society, she's not going to do that. And that's a stand-up black woman.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised by a stand-up black woman. My foster mother never, they had arguments sometimes they used to spill out that they were going to room, but she never openly disrespected my foster dad in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Never. And the only time she would get upset in front of us that they'll go in the room, because my dad, he ain't do whooping, man. He ain't believe in whooping. He just talked to us reckless as fuck, saying shit that he should have been telling us at that age, you know. But that was him. I still love him. That was him. That was his way because he was raised like that. They that's the reason why I don't talk to people when I'm upset, because I've learned that dynamic from him.
Yep.
And I can break somebody with words. So I try not to talk to people when I'm upset. And when I know they did something to insult me, to hurt me, I try to get to a place to where I don't make a decision while I'm upset, because that decision will break them. I know exactly what to say to fuck people up.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep my mouth off people, man, because it's only once you do that, it's something that'll come around the bend for you.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only time that she like, we need to go in the room because you can't talk to these kids like that.
Yep.
They'll have their conversation. And then he'll come out and he's like, you know what? I meant what I said. But I shouldn't be saying that like that to y'all. Y'all still kids. Y'all ain't grown men yet. But I meant it. Y'all need to go in there and clean up that damn room. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But he'll come in and he'll be like, you know, because he know you should be talking to us like with sailors and shit. You know what I mean? Like he should be crazy. You know what I mean? But and that let me know by him doing that as a man, you have to apologize sometimes, man, because you have to know that you talk to children sometimes, and it's some shit they don't know. You know what I mean? And he talked to everybody the same. This nigga talk to everybody the same, bro. Like,
no respect of persons.
Yeah, he was too rough. I was his foster son, and you would think that he talked to his other sons better than he talked to me. Nah, man, he talked to him the same. Rough,
everybody
man.
getting the same shit. No respect of persons.
Crazy, bogus. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that was him. I don't judge him for that, man. Because once you get into somebody's life and how they was raised, you'll see why they did what they did.
Exactly.
You ain't gotta like it, but you can accept it and you can see your own humanity in it. I'm like, okay, well, I'm fucked up too. The reason why people are so judgmental It's because they don't respect humanity.
And
They
that's
don't.
and we're a process of our embedded theology, and like you said, what we learned growing up. And that's why I harp on saying what I said about my father and my brother, because I know they listen to these lives. I remember one time my dad listened to one live where I got after my little brother, and I had to deal with that shit after the fact. So I know they pay attention. So that's
Right.
why I said, because I wanted them to know that I acknowledge what they did, but at the same time, it's to show the difference between that and a beautiful image of what black, strong, unapologetic brothers look like versus DL Hughley, who they're using now as the vehicle. And that's why Kanye West's Instagram got fucking shut down, because Kanye West attacked Steve Harvey, because now they're using DL fucking Hughley to be the motherfucker to try to, through comedy, dish rag Kanye West. And Kanye West was like, "No, I'm not having this shit. Fuck you, comedians." So
See
through
right
Kanye
now.
West dish ragging DL Hughley and fucking Steve Harvey, they basically say, "Oh, harassment. Are you fucking kidding me? He's defending himself. How's that harassment?"
See right now. Kanye, for good reason, he's not thinking clearly only because they're fucking with his daughters, man. And in Chicago, you wanna know why we take having daughters very seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a demon over Chicago of child molestation happened to boys too. I'm a victim, but there's a
Mm-hmm.
demon over Chicago of
I didn't know that, man.
there's a demon over Chicago of dealing with children or young adults, like they're adults, grown ass women dealing with young ass men.
Mm-hmm.
They say it's R. Kelly, but it's not just R. Kelly's. There's women too. There's Jada Pinkett's too.
Mm-hmm.
And the black community need to be real about the shit. They just look at the men. There's Jada Pinkett Smiths too, who are pedophiles. You know what I'm saying? So we know that's a culture. We know that shit is real.
Mm-hmm.
So Kanye don't want his kids on no social media in makeup, man. This is a little girl. She's 8 years old. People not understanding that, man. They're like, oh, he should lose. He should be quiet. He should text Kim and say, no, man, no, the fuck he shouldn't.
Exactly.
Kim is a public figure.
Yep.
Anybody else could speak on Kim. Any Joe Blow in the street could speak on Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck he can't speak on Kim? That's his baby mother, and she putting his kid in makeup on TikTok.
Facts.
Who are you to silence him and say he shouldn't be doing that?
Facts.
That ain't your kid. You ain't gonna have to deal with that kid if she get molested by somebody.
It's
If
bullshit.
she get raped, if she come up missing by one of these pedophiles, you ain't gonna have to deal with that. He gonna have to deal with that. So he can do whatever the fuck he want to do to preserve his daughter's innocence.
Mm-hmm.
Period. The reason why we don't understand as a community because a lot of us, our dads get ran out the house.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us, our dads didn't fight for us.
Yep.
When they left, they was gone.
Mm-hmm.
So we take that anger out on them, on a nigga who's trying.
Yep.
Not on a nigga. Not on the niggas who talking about killing their own people. Not on the niggas who openly say they just have kids everywhere. They don't take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
We don't take our anger out on the good for nothing guys.
Mm-hmm.
We take our anger out on the successful. That's what you call grooming, priming, and brain control, brainwashing, and mind control, man.
Yep.
They got us by the mind. You know how they say people got you by the balls? They don't got us by the balls. They got us by the mind, man.
Neuro-linguistic programming.
We ultimately have a inner disrespect for successful black men.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the shows. Guess who gets disrespected the most on Snowfall? Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
The Franklin made a mistake. Franklin did this. Franklin did that. It's like we refuse to respect his brilliancy. We refuse to respect the leadership.
Yep.
We're always looking for something wrong with the guy like that.
That's why they disrespect James St. Patrick on power all the fucking time. They always blaming shit on him.
Because it's more so a disrespect for the masculine black man that's a leader.
Mm-hmm.
because that's what they was raised to do. They
That's
was
why they
raised to
disrespect Floyd Mayweather. That's why they disrespect Earl Spence. That's why they disrespect Kobe Bryant.
any black man who not only successful but calls his own shots. We don't know how to respect them, man. We wasn't
Mm-hmm.
raised to.
And it's interesting you said that because the thing that people got to understand, and it's a powerful thing for people to understand, is black men have a double-edged sword that they deal with. It's a catch-22. If they ain't doing shit, they ain't about shit, they're going to get criticized for not being about shit. And if they are doing shit, they're going to get criticized for doing too much shit. So
Or doing
basically, they want them to be like in a fucking, like, I don't know, like an abyss or some shit, or golf between two places. It's fucking weird.
it's never enough. Because you got to think about it. At the job, when you're an unapologetic black man, you're never doing enough.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
if you're a
see,
sellout, you don't have
and
to do
see,
much. All you got to do is keep selling out your people.
and
When
see,
you're
this one, this
unapologetic,
is the one that trips me out, right? Because um, we got a situation here, right, where we see this thing in these shows, like you just mentioned with Frank, and I'm mentioning it with James St. Patrick, and we're mentioning it with Kanye West, and we're mentioning it overall. Why does the person who's the unapologetic brother has to be the one that's punished? Kanye West, because see, I'm glad you explained to me the Chicago history of how Chicago niggas are. But down south, that's why a lot of times people don't understand this, but a lot of down south guys and Chicago guys, they get along because there's a lot of similar shit that happens. I've seen this happen in Alabama. I've seen this happen in Arkansas. I've seen this happen in Mississippi, Louisiana, my home state of Florida. Men don't give a fuck when it comes to their kids. They don't care if you call them beta. When it comes to their kids, if they got to deal with the misery and the fucking bullshit and the gaslighting of a fucking woman, they will deal with that shit
yeah,
because
Jordan.
they don't want their kid to be raised a certain way.
Right.
They feel that they have to impart that knowledge. They have to break it down. And if that means they got to deal with your bullshit for X amount of years, 20 plus years or whatever, they'll fucking deal with it because they want to make sure that kid has that foundation, has that structure.
Yep. Yeah, man. So that's the thing. When people, it's gonna be hell to pay when black people start valuing each other. If you look at a black woman in the street and you don't see a stranger or somebody you just want to fuck, you see a actual person,
Mm-hmm.
and when she look at you and she don't see a lick or somebody that's goofy or somebody she can take advantage of, she just see an actual person, and we
Mm-hmm.
value each other, and we, hey, how you doing? You don't like you doing all right? Um, we're so disconnected now. We can see a random black woman crying and just walk right past her, or she can see that you need some help and you fucked up and just walk right past you and say, "I don't know that nigga." You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? When we get to the point to where we actually care about each other, then it's gonna be hell to pay, man. Because right now, this how they got us growing. We care about everybody but each other, man.
Facts.
You'll be hard pressed to see a black woman walk past any other race and they're in distress. She would make sure they get what they need. And same thing for most men.
Yep.
But when it comes to each other, we just walk past each other like we ain't shit.
Yep.
Step over each other. Step over motherfucker that they ain't shit. You know what I mean? Like we don't value each other, but you know what I'm saying? And then when it comes down to it, we get disrespected by the other races. We don't have the same energy that we have when black people disrespect us. We
Mm-hmm.
pull out our phones. We want to play sentimental games. Why you
Mm-hmm.
talk to me like this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get you fired. You don't try to get black people fired when they disrespect you on the
Mm-mm.
job. You be ready to whoop their ass.
Mm-mm. You get in their
Why
face.
you, ain't ready, why you not ready to put hands on this white man like that?
Exactly. Or
That's
not
a
even an
mental block.
element of putting hands, just checking their ass. Because they like to check you with words. Why can't you check them right back with the same fucking words and check their ass severe? One thing that's so powerful is when you check somebody of a different ethnicity and a different color, and they're not even expecting that shit. They expecting you to be the yes massa Negro, and you just check their ass. I'm always doing that shit at work all the fucking time, man. That's always been my MO. I'm always checking the motherfucker. Motherfucker get out of pocket, I'm checking him. I just loaned this guy. I was telling Ross this shit. I loaned this guy some money the other day. God put it on my heart to loan the guy the money. And you know, I took it as it was a gift, right? I gave the motherfucker the shit, and I wasn't even expecting the shit back. But you keep coming back to me, telling me you're gonna pay me back. All right, so you put an expectation. So you know what I did? I listened to him. He first he said, oh, "I'm gonna pay you back on the next check." I was like, "Okay, all right." Then he come back to me with some bullshit sob story. Well, I'm gonna pay you. I can't pay you back on the next check. I'm gonna pay you, spread it out on the next few checks. That's what I said. I said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna have a checking moment with him right now. I'm gonna have to clarify shit with him right the fuck now.
Right.
I called him. He was in his office. I said, let's go outside real quick. He was like, are we okay? I said, no, we're not okay.
We're not okay.
We're not okay. I got some shit to tell you right now. Listen, you're a grown ass man. And see, this is the thing. Anytime they see a black person do this shit to them, it throws them off. You're a grown ass man. And you go from basically telling me that you're going to pay me on the next check. Now, I ain't stupid. I know the same check histories that we got going on. You've seen 2 checks since I've sent you the money. I've seen those same 2 checks too. We're on the same checks, the same check period here. So how the fuck you let 2 checks pass, and by the time it's time for payday, I see your ass skating around me, acting like you don't see me. But all those other days, hey, what's up, Abe? How you doing? Da 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 da. I said, listen, man, I'm gonna put your ass on a schedule here. You got 1 or 2 payment installment plans to pay. You either gonna pay me $130 on spread it out in 2 paychecks, or you're gonna pay me $65, spread it out in 4 paychecks. Pick and fucking choose. And when you pick and choose which installment agreement, I'm gonna hold you to that shit. You ain't gotta pay me on this pay period, but you best believe the next pay period you're gonna pay me on that shit. But this is how I fuck with them. Cause see, people think they can play games. I said, if I don't get my money on the next pay period, I'm going into your supervisor's office and I'm going to embarrass you and tell you that I loaned you money and you haven't paid me the money back. And one thing about motherfuckers, they don't like to be embarrassed like that.
They don't like to be embarrassed, man.
So that's what I told him. And he said, oh, yeah. I'll make sure you get your money back. I said, the only reason why I want this money back is because you put the expectation that you're going to pay me the fuck back. I don't want to hang out with you. I don't want to be around you. I don't want to go to, I don't fucking know you. I just want you now at this point to pay me the money back. See, when somebody puts an expectation on something, you got to meet them with the expectation that they put on. And you don't let nobody ever play in your fucking face, because you don't go from telling me you're going to pay me back on the next check to then telling me you're going to spread it out. And here was the caveat. I didn't even tell y'all the caveat so y'all can fucking laugh. After I gave this motherfucker $260, I told Ross this shit. We was laughing this shit up. This motherfucker had the nerve with his stank halitosis ass to come around me again and ask me for another $100. And you know what I told him out there? I said, how old are you? He was like, I'm 45. I said, 1, this is bad that you this age and you got to ask me for money. 2nd, it's not a good look for you to sit here and not only ask me for money, you turn around and ask me for some more money. Listen, man, just like you got family to take care of, I got family to take care of. Just like you got bills to take care of, I got bills to take care of. That $260 could have went to something. Believe it or not, more than likely it would have hit my savings account. That's what I told him. I said, me and you were different. You it looks like you need the shit. Me, that shit would have hit my savings account, but it would have been emergency money for me for when I needed it down the road, because anything could fucking happen. So I'm gonna tell you right now, these are the schedules that you're gonna be on. And when he tried to get slick and say, well, what if it's gonna take me longer? I said, oh, no, it's not gonna take you longer. And he was like, what? I said, I'm gonna make sure it don't take you longer, because if you try to play that game, if I don't get my paycheck by the next pay period, I'm going to your supervisor and I'm going to tell your supervisor this shit. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna record that shit. I'm gonna have my record on the phone. I'm gonna record this shit, and I'm gonna tell your supervisor while I record it. So that way, if some shit pop off, I could just put it in an email format and send that shit and blast that shit to the whole fucking organization. No, what the fuck? I said, yeah, you gonna pay me.
I'm gonna play with you.
Ain't gonna learn how to pay me my money. You gonna if you ain't never done this with nobody else, you gonna do this shit with me. I'm gonna teach you this fucking lesson.
First of all, it's been 2 pay periods, that's a whole month, man.
Exactly.
That's a month. Stop playing with me, man. I know you got a plan because I see you every day.
Exactly.
You're not gonna keep walking past me and not pay me my money. You could at least give me $50, man.
Yep.
Paycheck 1 at least. Like,
yep.
man, I ain't really got it, but here goes 50. All right, cool. Next paycheck, give me another 50. Cool. You could have been giving me something.
Yep.
You ain't giving me nothing. You keep hitting me with these sob stories, bro. Check it out. You go fuck around, end up on Facebook, viral.
Yep.
That you broke and you can't make ends meet.
Exactly. I ain't playing with the motherfucker. It's when he tried to skate around and act like, oh well, I'm gonna act like I don't see him. No, and I called his ass out. And you know what happened? Because you the black man and you telling a white man out there what he's supposed to fucking do. I'm coming back in. Everybody, is everything okay? Is everything all right? Look like you were talking to him harshly. Would you say that shit if he was fucking doing that shit to me too? That's why I had to tell that woman. I was like, see yourself out this conversation because it has nothing to do with you. This has nothing to do with you.
First of all, mind your business.
That's it.
Mind your business.
It has nothing to do with you.
Secondly, man, when the one grown man or another grown man, significant amount of money, then he can talk to him how the fuck he want to talk to him, man. Yep. First of all, homie, you should never came to me. That's why I don't get nobody's shit at work. Niggas be talking about, I don't know how I'm gonna get it. I don't know. I'll be like, man, they stuck. Cause I know how people be once they get your money.
Yep.
Motherfucker get your money, and then when you be like, hey man, so what's up? They be like, oh man, you worry about that funky ass 350? Like, bro, that shit wasn't funky when you was crying about it.
Yep.
When you was talking about you don't know, man, you hope the Lord make a way because you don't know what you gonna do. It was funky then.
Yeah.
Now it's funky because you done spit it up.
Yeah.
I know. Only run me my bread. There's gonna be some issues.
Yeah, because I told you, Ross. I said at that time, I said because I already knew who I was dealing with, and the thing is, me and Ross, we read people very fucking well. And I told Ross, I said I already know who I'm dealing with. This is just I look at this as charity. I'm not even expecting shit back. But now when you keep coming back to me and keep telling me, now you make me understand the principle of what my dad taught me growing up. Same shit Ross's grandfather taught him. A man is as good as his fucking word. Now you putting that expectation there. So now I got to challenge you on that shit. You telling me you're going to pay me back. Then you gonna then turn around and tell me, well, I'm going to pay you back straight. No, I'm going to challenge you on that shit. And I challenged the fuck out of his ass yesterday on that shit. Scared the bejesus out of his ass. And this shit made him go straight. And then he started addressing me, coming back, walking around me. Hey, you have a great day. Yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah,
don't walk by me and act like you don't fucking know me when you got a loan out there, bitch. Shit.
Right. And that's the thing, man. That's the thing right there, man. And in our community, we gotta get past this. We gotta get past this master slave shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of black niggas got mad when Kanye West said, "Man, slavery was a choice." What the people don't realize is they chopped up what he said. Number one, they said Kanye West said slavery was a choice. They just took. It was a whole hour and minute. It was a whole hour 30-minute interview. It was a whole hour and 30-minute interview, and they gave you 10 seconds of an hour and 30-minute interview, right? They knew what they was doing, right? They were viral. They knew what they was doing. But he said after 400 years, that sounded like a choice. And he was absolutely right. Because still to this day, we still act like slaves, man. Still to this day, we still ain't free. We're not free mentally. If you ain't free mentally, your body ain't free.
Yep.
Still to this day, if it was a race riot, and if it was black people on one side, if it was white people on the other side, and niggas got the scrapping, it'll be one black dude, it'll be a black dude, it'll be a group of black dudes or black women covering up covering up white people so they won't get hit.
Yep.
Your life on the line. These niggas shooting guns, it's going down. And you put your life on the line to save somebody who don't even fucking care about you.
Facts.
People think that's love. That's not love. That's a mental defect because in a time of fight, flight, or freeze. So you're supposed to be trying to get away. You're supposed to be fighting, or you're supposed to be too stuck to where you can't do anything. That's war. If you have the mental capacity to say, fuck me, I'm gonna protect people who came here to kill me, that is not love. That is a psychological. You need help. That's a psychological disadvantage.
Exactly.
Because when your life is under duress, your subconscious kicks in and it protects you.
Facts.
Your mind goes to a certain mode to where your adrenaline heightens.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's to keep you alive. That's to keep you focused to do the shit you need to do in the quick succession. If the first thing you do is protect a white person, when you getting shot at, that's a slave mentality, man. Because there's black people you should be protecting. There's little babies out there.
Yep.
That you should be protecting.
Because in that moment, I'll move the fuck out the way and let you eat the fucking bullet. Fuck you.
If everybody's out there, think about it, man. Think about it. This is the 30s. I'm gonna give you a scenario. This is the 20s. You just came up from the South. You thought you was coming to freedom in the North. As soon as you got here, these Irish motherfuckers started beating y'all up and hanging y'all on trees and shit.
Yep.
So you still a slave. So now you out there fighting, and you look to your right and you see a woman not even protecting her own kids. She got her arms around some white man trying to keep you from getting down on him. That's a mental defect, man. This white man came to rape you and to kill you. And if the shit was turned, he wouldn't be doing that.
Yep.
They don't do that. You see what happened when them motherfuckers came to the Trump rallies?
Yep.
Ain't not one white man got up to save them niggas that came to no Trump rallies, man. Not one person came to their defense.
Not one.
Why? Because they all stick together.
Exactly.
And that's what
even in their Civil War bullshit, they stick together.
And that's what they ass get for even going over there. Bring your ass to a Trump rally to say vote for Joe Biden. There ain't nobody in there. Joe Biden ain't nobody in there to help you, to protect you. You got slapped around by the white folks, man.
Yep.
And then you want to say they was racist. Nah, they did what they do. That's what they do. That's how they get down. You think it's racist because you don't get down like that. Because you let white people talk to you any kind of way, and you put out your phone and you cry and say, why you talking to me this way?
Yep.
When you bring supposed to be busting their motherfucking head open when they call you a nigga.
Yep. And that's why the plight of the black family, there's a myriad of issues that we suffer from. And that's why the black family, especially nowadays, 2022, is pretty much almost non-fucking existent, because the myriad of issues that we face is colorism, gentrification, assimilation, prejudices, social economic issues, and then to compound all of that shit, the stresses that come with our health system. That's why black people have the highest forms of heart attack, blood pressure, all of that bullshit, and then the byproducts of systemic racism on top of fucking that. And then people are wondering why we walk around constantly in flight or flight response. It's because of all of that shit that we have to constantly carry, and we got to wear that shit as a uniform every fucking day we step out of the house. Isn't that some shit?
Damn right. But you know what? You want to know why I ain't in constant fight or flight no more? So I've been through so much stuff in my life, so I realized, man, God ain't gonna let nothing happen to me that ain't in His will. Nothing. And nothing gonna happen to me that ain't in God's will, man. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't worried about nothing, man. When I get pulled over, I don't be worried about the police killing me, man. Because it ain't my time to die, man.
Yep.
Got wisdom, though. I'm talking to a nigga who's been up 36 hours straight. I'm not talking to him like, bitch ass nigga, why you pulling me over?
Yep.
He got a gun. I don't got a gun.
Facts.
His people are enemy to my people, no matter what they say.
Exactly.
I'm at a disadvantage. I act like I'm at a disadvantage.
Yep.
I say, here's my license and my registration. I hand it to him. I'll say nothing else.
That's it.
You doing this, you did that. I said, all right, cool. I get my shit. He say, all right, have a good day. All right. And I drive the fuck off, man. I might say 5 to 8 words when I get pulled over. I don't be like, yes, sir, no, sir. And I don't do all that. And I don't do no goofy shit neither.
Yep.
I don't be like, man, what's up? What's happening? No, I don't do all that because he had a gun. I don't got no gun. It's as simple as that.
Yep.
It's as simple as that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have wisdom too. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't be afraid for my life when I get pulled over because man, ain't nothing gonna happen to me. God don't want to happen to me. That's how I
Exactly.
look
You
at it.
got you got spiritual diplomatic immunity from this
Yeah.
bullshit. And I like the fact that you think that way. Um, I think that way the same way too. But I have, like you said, the principle and the mindset to understand that you don't need to create trouble and create storms that don't need to be created. A lot of times we create our own fucking troubles and our own storms because we just want to say that I told this motherfucker this shit, I told this motherfucker that shit. There's not all that shit is not necessary, especially when you know the disadvantages that are there. I mean, I remember 19 years old being in the military, getting pulled over in Little Whiskey, Georgia, which I ended up finding out years later was one of the founding places of the KKK. And this tall ass fucking white dude, man, motherfucker looked like he was about 7 feet, pulled me over, and he was having that conversation, calling me boy the whole fucking time. I mean, that does. I ain't gonna lie. That shit do raise your temperature. That shit raises your blood pressure. That shit raise everything. But
And
I
dude,
kept my calmness. I kept my coolness the
if you
whole
ain't got no
fucking
strap,
time.
if you ain't got no
Gave
gun,
him
and you ain't willing to put in no work with no police, then don't be going
exactly.
back and forth with no police.
Nah, I gave him
So
my
they
ID
got to
and
live.
shit like that, and he was making his little comments saying, "You know where you at? You know the side of town you at?" Because I was messing with this girl that happened to be. She happened to be in Jessup, Georgia, so I had to cross over that picket line just to get over there. And if anybody know how Georgia is, Georgia got a lot of these fucking back roads and bullshit. So I had to cross the picket line just to get over there. And basically he was like, out here we eat, we put cotton and hay in our mouths and we use natural strength, boy, to pick up shit. Did you know that? And he was like, where you heading back? I was like, it's something about you telling motherfuckers you in the military, you on the military base. That shit gives you some level of respect. If there ain't nothing give you respect, is that shit. I said, well, I'm heading back on post. And he was like, "Oh, you in the military? I thought you was, one of these whippersnappers around this town causing trouble and shit like that." He was looking for any and everything to create a storm. I
It's
didn't give
it,
him that shit.
it's not a when you're in the service.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a respect. It's not like, oh, I respect you. Blah, blah. They don't respect you. It's their mindset is, oh, you happen to preserve us,
Mm-hmm.
so you good. Because at the end of the day, depending on where you at, it's motherfuckers in the Navy that still get harassed.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, you know what I mean. So it's not like they respect you all of a sudden. It's more so you're not a threat anymore because they feel like, oh, you're in the service, so they think when you go in the service, you have this certain type of mindset. It's the reason
Yeah.
why certain people who in the service we have harder times than other black men because
Mm-hmm.
they can tell that shit that boot camp didn't take.
Mm-hmm.
Like boot camp didn't take on this nigga right here. This dude right here, he don't fear me.
Mm-hmm.
He don't fear white people.
I'm glad you said that.
You know what I'm
Because my
saying?
NCO told me you
Yeah.
always, anytime you're in trouble, always show your ID. I didn't understand. I did not understand that until that moment when I got pulled over. Just pop your military ID out first. You know what I'm saying? Just do that. And there was wisdom in him telling me that shit because I'm sure he went through that shit in his 20 plus year career of getting fucking pulled over and having shit going on. And that's what I did. I popped the shit off. And it was interesting how his mindset changed to what you're talking about. Not the
Yeah.
respect, but like the fact you're adding a value to what we got going on. So I must cheat you a little bit. Oh, you a soldier. That's what he said.
You're
Oh,
not
you a
threat.
soldier.
You're
His
not threat.
conversation changed. There wasn't no boy no more in the conversation. Oh, you
Yeah.
a soldier. Oh, you going on base. Just be careful. Don't be speeding. I wasn't even fucking speeding. But he just wanted to say that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wanted to feel like he at least got something positive. My headlight wasn't broken, nothing was going on. It was just wee hours, man. I was getting back on post because I gotta run fucking PT in the morning. You know
Rough.
how that shit go.
Yeah.
And then that's what ended up happening. But thank goodness nothing happened out of the situation. But there's a lot of times that all of that could happen the way it's happening and still some negative shit pop off, and there could be a negative consequence. And a motherfucker could say all the right things, a motherfucker could do all the right things, but because you're dealing with a motherfucker, like you said, that work 46 hours, and they feel that they hate you vehemently, so you got to be the poster boy, you got to be the victim that they exact that hate on in that fucking moment.
It's and I'm not just like that with police. I'm like that with them that I work with. It's more so I don't say nothing more than I have to say, because you're never really having a real interaction with them, man. It's always a sizing up, and it's more so you're gonna boss up on them and be because they want you to act primal around them. Whenever you're displaying like intellect and blase blase, they don't want that. So they want to always have you in a mode to where you're angry all the time.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And they respect that black man, but behind their back they say, "Oh, he's always angry." They show respect to the angry black dude all the time. They show respect to the dude that cower all the time. They don't show the dude that in perfectly control of himself mentally, emotionally. They despise.
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to have that type of confidence. You should.
Yeah.
As long as they have you emotionally, they can control you. And if you're subservient, you're automatically controlled. But when you're even killed and they can't read you, it's a problem. When they speak to you, they're always trying to extract. There's never a real exchange of like a real conversation.
Yep.
So I'd rather not have a fake conversation. I'll be like, yo, this is what's going on. I get right to the point, because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to give you nothing you can use against me. And I don't really care what you got to say outside of work, to be honest.
The beautiful one that fucks them over, Ross, is when you use their standards against them. They hate that shit, boy. Woo! They hate that shit. They set a certain level of standards, certain rules of engagement, a certain rule of conduct, and they not even following the shit. And you know they're not following the shit, and you throw the accountability back on their ass. Then they get stupid. And then they get to the, well, you know, first they try to hit you with the, well, I'm not supposed to follow those set of rules. They don't tell you that directly. They kind of tell you that in indirect words. But then you keep staying right on it, and you tell them, well, that's your accountability, though. That isn't that your standard? Isn't that your code of conduct? Isn't that how you govern yourself? And then when you keep staying on it, then they start doing the apology shit. Well, you know, it must have slipped my mind, or, you know, I must have forgot. Yeah, you did forget, because on this day, this time, I remember this is what we talked about. They hate that shit, boy. When you're a calculated motherfucker and you got everything on point, woo, that shit bothers them. That's how I am at work, because I will remember the day, the fucking time, and if it's something I know they can be used against me, I'll record that shit, dog. I'm big on that shit, and I'll tell motherfuckers sometimes, depending on the level, listen, man, I don't feel comfortable. So I'm gonna let y'all know right now. I'm gonna record this shit, and you'd be surprised how it changes the atmosphere in the room. Hey, if we're gonna have that kind of conversation, we'll change it. Once I realize the conversation changes to something peaceful, then I don't need to do it no more. But if we're gonna have a situation where it's gonna be, listen, I have to do this because at the end of the day, it's my word versus your word, and I don't play these my word versus your word. I play what's on the recording, because you can't argue against what's recording. You can't argue against the numbers on that, the statistics on that. And email is something that I find very beautiful. And teach some of y'all motherfuckers this shit on both sides of the platform. If you work in a working place, email is your best fucking friend. Always keep your email game on point, and always make sure when you email shit, you always make sure you keep a record and account of that shit, because that shit will always be your benefactor in a working environment. Because a lot of times motherfuckers, they get stupid and they forget shit. They mind slip on shit. Your email will not slip, because your email has a time date, it has a timestamp, and it has a history behind what the fuck was talked about.
Me personally, I delete everything but except for sent emails. Any email I sent is I don't delete. And because I delete everything else, I can have thousands of unsent emails or sent emails. I don't delete what I sent because I got the record of what I said. I got the record. Straight up. This is what was said. This is a time and date. You know about this shit. Blah, blah, blah. You ain't do it. That's on you. You know what I mean? But all that goes, and then what people need to realize is it's all a mind manipulation game. When you see black men, black women, our image on TV, if it's an image that they want us to be, they will get very, very minuscule ridicule. It's niggas that commit murders, go to jail, be out in 3 months. NBA young boy, he's back out. How he get out of jail?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But that's the image they want, so he could do all that shit. Meanwhile, Deshaun Watson can't even say, "I don't want to be here no more."
Mm-hmm. Or guys like Kodak Black. Kodak Black can go through the shit that he went through, and that's why he said, and that shit rubbed a lot of black people the wrong way. Did a shorts on that. I fucks with Trump because Trump fucks with me. Trump was the only motherfucker that stood up to the plate, looked at his profile, and was like, hold up. All of these other rappers, they just be having them in like nice places. They don't have them. They put this motherfucker out there on the yard. They put him with the killers. They were trying to get this motherfucker erased while he was in prison.
Yeah.
And Kodak Black was like, man, Trump looked at the shit and saw it was bullshit. So Trump was like, no, y'all need to release this motherfucker.
This is what's going on with black people and Trump. The problem with black people is we don't understand racism.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get it. We think racism is somebody being rude, somebody saying nigga, or somebody say you can't sit here at this restaurant. That's prejudice.
Yep.
Racism is people stopping you and your people from progressing. People don't get racist at your job, so they withhold you from a raise because you black. Mm-hmm. That's racism. Mm-hmm. When everybody in your job working against you to put out rumors against you to ruin the next level for you, that's racism. That's systematic racism. Facts. People not liking you is called prejudice.
Yep.
So we get the two confused, and black people, we don't like prejudiced people.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to racism, as long as they're nice to us, we don't care.
Yep.
Black people do not give a fuck that Joe Biden is the reason why the majority of the people in jail is black and brown.
Yep.
We don't give a fuck. Because Joe Biden.
Kamala fucking Harris.
Because Joe Biden is nice.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you nice to black people, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do to them.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you say, yeah, I don't fuck with y'all like that, but listen, if I'm the president, I'm going to make sure y'all got this, and this because y'all put me in office, but I really don't like y'all. We don't want white people to be real with us. We want them to lie. We want them to hide their racism.
Yep.
That's the dumbest mentality in the fucking world, man.
Exactly.
The dumbest mentality in the world is to take this shit personal.
Yep.
Politics is politics. Politicians deal with people they don't like every day.
Exactly.
As soon as a black person sit down with a white person y'all don't like, y'all call them a coon. Do you know what a coon is?
Mm-hmm.
A coon is somebody, a house nigger or somebody who is doing things to the detriment of their people. Not going and talking to somebody you don't like and trying to make things better.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get nothing done if you don't communicate. Y'all trying to excommunicate Ice Cube because he went in there and said, "Hey man, this is what I want you to do for the people." Y'all got mad because y'all got mad because he even talked to Trump. Ain't a man of power supposed to talk to men of power? How do you get anything done if you refuse to even talk to him?
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Joe Biden don't even talk to no men. He don't talk to no men in the black community, and he only talk to women that's ratchet.
Facts.
He refused to talk to Lauryn Hill, but he talked to Cardi B.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because even if she means well, she only knows so much because her education is limited.
Exactly.
That's to say that she's this, she's that. I don't got a problem with her. I don't know her. But they want to talk to people whose education is super limited because they know they can talk around them.
Mm-hmm. Or the person who's going to bypass dealing with real issues. Because Cardi B, Like you told me the other day, you enlightened me. Cardi B said talks about a lot of real shit, but Cardi B prefers because she knows her brand to protect her brand. She rather delve into bullshit.
On her IG, she every
Mm-hmm.
now and then she slides into bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
but everywhere else she gonna say what she gotta say
Yep.
to keep the checks coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Because what people don't realize is before Kanye went and to talk to Trump about uh about Larry Hoover, he was trying to talk to Obama about Larry Hoover,
Yep.
and Obama didn't want an audience, so he's not
No, he
supposed to
didn't.
not push this. He's supposed to say "fuck my plan"
Mm-hmm.
just because this is Trump now, or he's supposed to continue with his plan.
He didn't want to be upstaged in public by another black man. Let's just be honest. That's all it was. He didn't want to be challenged.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that's where we got shit fucked up at because our feelings,
Mm-hmm.
our lack of control of our feelings, our the ability of them just to tell us where to go and we just shoot
Mm-hmm.
it's to our detriment, man. They could come out with a right now. They could say right now they could TMZ could say Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have half the black women say I hated Jay-Z. I always hated Jay-Z. Blah 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 blah. And then an hour later they could say, oh, that was a rumor.
Yep.
They control niggas like this, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's that easy. It's that easy to get them to talk about a black man.
And that's why
One
you have the
headline.
ultimate black man that told the line to bamboozle you motherfuckers like Drake. Drake can sit here and constantly take shots at Kanye West, be on LeBron's platform doing the shit, basically both of them co-signing the behaviors because they are the ultimate beta males that have been put as the face to sit here and to degrade men that are unapologetic. Don't you notice for years they use LeBron James to basically be a hindrance to Kobe Bryant? Y'all didn't see the shit because LeBron would be out there in the media saying, well, when he dropped his 61 and Kobe dropped his 61, well, my 61 was, I got my teammates involved. His 61, there was no passing. That was to shit on another black man. That was to put another black man down in public. People didn't see the importance behind that. They just thought it was basketball. No, they used that shit. Drake coming out on Kanye on LeBron's platform. Oh, I thought it was trolling for Kanye West to give me this and for me to sit here and sample it and do the music, and then I turn around and then he's making fun of me. Kanye West is making fun of your dumbass. If your dumbass was stupid enough to realize in the moment that you just wasn't putting two and two to fucking together, and Kanye West just didn't have time for the fact that your ass wasn't creative enough and he had to give you something, that's a different ball game. So don't sit here and say that's trolling. You looked up to this motherfucker. Your musical career is because of this motherfucker. But see, this is what they do. They use their own very own to shit on their own very own. That's just the way it works, man.
Yeah, that's what they do. Think about it. Where where Gail King and Oprah had a lot to say when R. Kelly was going through what R. Kelly was going through.
Yep.
Where's Gail King and Oprah during Rant House?
Yep.
Where were they during George Floyd?
Mm-hmm.
Breonna Taylor? Where
Yep.
were they? That's the reason why you have to always look at the message and who's speaking the message.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to compare that. Do they keep the same energy all the time? Or is it
Mm-hmm.
only with certain people? Once you start seeing the cycle, then you'll realize people going against the grain ain't so crazy.
Facts.
They see something you don't see.
Mm-hmm.
They see something you don't see. Just 10 years ago, niggas thought Kanye was crazy. But Kanye was like, man, they see I'm trying to be a millionaire and they trying to top me off. They trying to put a ceiling over me. They trying to
Mm-hmm.
marginalize me. Niggas like, man, we don't care. Just make music.
Facts.
Who the fuck are you to tell a man he can't live his dreams because you want to hear music?
Facts.
That's why he was like, bro, I can say today I ain't making no more music and niggas gotta live with that. That's my prerogative. I don't gotta make music. Ever, no, not another record. That's what we don't understand, man. These people, they're more than just football players. They're more than just rappers. They're more than just singers. They're human beings, man. They have shit going on in their life. And expect for them to be, because they're celebrities, for them not to go through shit because you don't care to know about it. You just want their music. That's unrealistic, man. So you basically asking people to ignore you when you go through
Facts.
shit. So
Facts.
that's because when you go on your Facebook and you cry about your bitch cheating on you, then niggas should say, nigga, fuck you. You know what you was getting into.
Mm-hmm.
Or you cried that your daddy wasn't there, niggas should like, man, fuck you, man. Your mama knew what she was doing when she told your daddy. So people
Mm-hmm.
should talk to you that way then. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't think about it that way. All the complaining they do on social media, that's all these niggas doing on Twitter. They been having a human experience. They complaining, they going through shit. So whenever you go through shit on social media, we should come on your comment and say, that's what you get.
Exactly.
That's what you get, man. Oh, you got fired? Nigga, fuck you. So
Mm-hmm.
what? You got fired. That's what you know what I mean. If we treated you how y'all talk about celebrities, y'all would change the way you talk about celebrities. You'll realize, oh
Exactly.
shit, these are human beings, man.
Yep. If you had to walk a day in a mile in their shoe, you would understand that, and you would understand what they got to deal with. I mean, let's just be honest. Myself and Tom Ross TV. I mean, we're not A-list celebrities, but we're celebrities nevertheless. Anytime your ass is put out there and you're public,
I don't think I'm a celebrity just yet. Yeah.
okay. Well, anytime that you're a public image and you put yourself out there, people know you. Even if it's 1,000 people, even if it's 200 people, even if it's 100 people, people know you. That's more
Right.
people that know you than people that didn't know you before.
Right.
And believe it or not, people now start holding you to a certain standard. They start holding you to a certain way of thinking. And when you don't do what people want you to do because they have a picture in their mind of who you are, not knowing the full person that you are, when you don't do what they thought that you should do, now they want to infect their
Mm-hmm.
opinions. Now they want to tell you, but on your channel you was doing this, and on your channel you was moving this way, and on your channel you was saying this, and on your channel you was, but I was speaking the way that I was speaking in that moment because that's what I was thinking in that moment. But that's not
Right.
fucking me. That's not who I identify as. It's just in that moment our visions, our thought process aligned, and people have to understand that your thought process is going to align with people in certain moments, in certain periods, in certain junctures. But that doesn't mean you can't be that much of a dodo head to think that this is who the fuck I am because we were aligned in that moment. That moment was that
Right.
fucking moment. And as a person, as a human being in life, I'm going to grow. I'm going to have experiences. I'm going to change. And here's the thing, when shit happens in the world and it changes, I'm going to change with that too. Shit, we just passed a global pandemic. Everybody's feeling the global pandemic in a different way. They're feeling the circumstances. Life has changed as we speak. Motherfuckers got to wear masks going around. I could only imagine in 2020 what mask wearing was like for Ross going on the fucking base. Life is fucking different, right? New
Right.
normal. Motherfuckers got to take COVID shots, vaccination, shits that go against what you don't want to do, but you doing that. You could only imagine the psychological component, the mental component, the emotional component, all of these things that are happening. And you mean to tell me because I'm experiencing these things, I can't talk about it in my art? I can't talk about it in my
Right.
creativity. So that means I'm being different because I'm going through different experiences. Come on, man. We can't be that fucking dumb.
What thing is, that's the mind control, bro. People want you to be under the same spell they under.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if they get dictated to, if they have to act a certain way, if people tell them this you can't be this, you only can be this, instead of them fighting, it's too hard to fight. They rather get
Yep.
everybody to be like them.
Yep.
All my life, nobody believed in me. Nobody ever told me I could be great. Um, so when I came against, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking in general how they think.
I
So
got you.
so when I came, so when I came against white man telling me I can't do this, I just agreed because nobody else told me I could.
Exactly.
So They can't relate to the black dude who they're telling him he should be a receiver, and he said, "I'm gonna be a quarterback."
Yep.
Because they would have folded.
Yep.
They can't relate to Kanye, who said, "I don't want to just rap. I want to do fashion."
Yep.
And I don't want to do fashion. I don't want to do documentaries. I want to do everything.
I want to do it all.
They can't relate to that because they haven't even did the one thing that they said they was going to do when they was little. They haven't fulfilled that dream yet, let alone several dreams.
Yep.
So instead of saying like, "Damn, man, I need to sit and see what this dude did, figure it out because I got dreams."
Yep.
They say, "Man, you know what? Fuck Kanye, man. He wore a red hat, man.
Yep.
He wore a red hat, so fuck him,
He got
man.
MAGA. That's it. He go brainwash MAGA.
He wore a red hat, so fuck him, man. He ain't do shit for the community. Shit, Lil Durk ain't do nothing for you either.
Exactly.
King Von ain't do nothing for you but kill your own people.
Yeah.
You love him. Pop Smoke ain't do nothing but kill his own people. You love him.
Mm-hmm.
Pop Smoke wore a blue hat.
Mm-hmm.
That killed other black people. You ain't got no problem with that blue hat.
Mm-hmm.
You got a problem with a red hat. You don't even know where that slogan came from. Make America Great. You don't even know where that shit came from. That shit ain't come from Trump.
Mm-hmm. Ronald Reagan.
Trump ain't made that up. That came from Ronald Reagan.
Mm-hmm.
A president your great grandma probably loved because she ain't know no better. Ronald Reagan is one of the worst presidents one of the worst things that ever happened to the black community.
Exactly. I mean, he put black people on a mental roller coaster like nobody's business, boy.
When he was president, you couldn't tell black people shit about Ronald Reagan. You still can't tell that generation shit about Ronald Reagan.
Nah.
Then, man, he gave us food stamps. He made rent so cheap. Yep. Yeah, he took away your motivation, man. And he put y'all in projects. And he put y'all men in jail, man.
Yep.
And he put crack in the community.
Mm-hmm. And then basically said war on drugs to then come back and lock y'all motherfuckers up.
He put crack in the community. This how you know all the presidents work together.
Mm-hmm.
Ronald Reagan put the crack in the community. Niggas was getting on. He got out of office. Bush throwing all them niggas in jail.
Yep.
Clinton got in office, still on the same trajectory with them. Clinton said, "Man, we're gonna throw them in jail for the same amount of time just for one offense."
Yep.
You like Clinton though.
Yep.
But Clinton and Joe Biden made the rules that said if your friend sell drugs at a high level and you hang out with him, you could get caught in a RICO and go to jail for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
No proof. All we got to do is prove that you hang out with him.
And we stuck on stupid. We like Clinton because what? He had sexual relations, so that means he's black. Fuck out of here, man.
You see how they play on the ignorance?
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, Clinton was a black president. He was getting head in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
So basically, you saying black presidents are ignorant as fuck. The black people are supposed to do stupid shit, like get head in the Oval Office.
Exactly. And then identify that with your people. The fuck?
Motherfuckers don't be thinking, man. They just be talking, trying to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
You could be smart and funny at the same time. David Chappelle proved that.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor proved that. You don't got to be no idiot to be funny.
And that's why I don't respect D.L. Hughley, because D.L. Hughley was one of the motherfuckers doing shit like that.
First
he
of all,
got the nerve
to criticize Kanye West. Get the
fuck out of here.
This nigga's in Chicago funny, and this regular nigga's on the street funny as D.L. Hughley. He just know how to roast. That's it. All black people on the roast. You could do D.L. Hughley show. All the fuck he do is come up there, and you see somebody who look crazy, and he just talk about it on the whole show.
Yep.
D.L. Hughley not funny, man. He was the weakest. He was the weakest king of comedy, man.
Yeah, he was.
Him he was weak, and fucking Steve Harvey was weak. Steve Harvey was so weak they had to make him the host because he was getting booed.
Yep.
Steve Harvey can't do a whole hour. That's what people don't understand. They made him the host because he was getting booed. Cedric the Entertainer and Bernie was the ones that niggas go crazy.
Bernie number one, Cedric Entertainer number two.
Those were the ones that was killing it every time. So they made them the last two guys. They put D.L. Hughley first. He basically was opening up for them.
Yep.
And they made dude the host because he only could do 5-10 minutes at a time.
That's it.
Them
And
niggas
Cedric
ain't
the
funny,
Entertainer
man.
just got swag. But anything that come out of Bernie Mouth's Mac, even if Bernie Mac look at you, that shit is funny.
Bernie Mac, listen, man. These motherfuckers only talk about Kanye right now because that's what they supposed to do. They
Mm-hmm.
gatekeepers. They not nobody checking for a DL Hughley comedy, man.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Nobody checking for Steve Harvey comedy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They doing this shit because best believe because they came at Kanye like this, they gonna get opportunities from white folks now.
Yep.
So look for Steve Harvey to probably get
Steve
a new
Harvey did
show.
that shit so he could get right back on TV because they canceled his ass from TV.
Right. Look forward to Steve Harvey to get back on TV, and
Mm-hmm.
now they're gonna bless DL Hughley because
Mm-hmm.
they
Yeah,
went
with a
against.
bullshit ass show.
But at the end of the day, them niggas not gonna they not gonna die with no type of respect.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, when Kanye West die, he gonna be solidified as a
Yep.
legend, no matter what we saying
He's
right now.
already solidified in my mind.
No. What I'm talking about to even his haters, because this is
That's
what they
true.
do. Because people forget. People are, oh, I love Pac. I love Pac. When Pac was alive, everybody that loved Pac.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that love Pac. Niggas was talking about Pac the same way they talk about Kanye West right now.
Yes.
Half the niggas hated Pac.
Yep.
Then when
Same
he
thing with
died,
Michael Jackson too. It was funny how they were calling Michael Jackson a child pedophile, but then now man, off the wall and talking so good about Michael Jackson now.
that's what we do as a people because we take on slave master mentality. Slave
Mm-hmm.
master tear you down when you
Yep.
living.
Yep.
Then once you die, they make holidays about you.
Yeah.
Dr. King got holidays about him. Dr. King was living. He was public enemy number one, man.
I'm gonna say something right now, Ross. I think it's as critical. I think they got rid of Johnny Cochran. Johnny Cochran was getting too many motherfuckers off. He even got Michael Jackson off.
Yeah.
Though his death to me is a mystery, man. Till this day, I still don't, because this motherfucker was just so good as an attorney, and that shit was crazy the way he was just getting everybody the fuck off, and then out of nowhere, this motherfucker just passed away. That shit is a mystery to me.
Because when it comes to the celebrities, a lot of times celebrities be getting railroaded, man. A lot of unapologetic celebrities, people don't realize as timid as Michael Jackson was, as feminine as Prince came off,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be surprised about how masculine these guys were with their mindset.
They were
People don't realize this is the reason why these guys act the way they. These guys had a hard life, and shit happened to them that was not supposed to happen to little
traumatic,
boys, man.
traumatic
The
as
little
fuck.
boys, you know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
their mindset was black and it was masculine all the time.
Man, there's women that have stories about how Prince had them in mental trances, man.
What people don't realize is Prince dressed a certain way, but Prince talked. This nigga talk. That nigga and people be like, like right now I have a certain voice. I have to talk this way because I have a natural lisp. So I can't be too. My voice can't be too deep. My
Mm-hmm.
natural voice, like in Chicago when I talk, my voice is way heavier. You know what I mean? But Prince has a naturally heavy voice, man. It's a masculine voice,
Yep.
very masculine. But I'm talking about their mindsets now. Like fuck what these women was talking about. Women carry away with anything. This is women who carried
Mm-hmm.
away with the new Batman now. All of a sudden,
Yep.
all of a sudden, all the black women want to fuck the new dude that's a Batman. Women get
Yep.
carried away with anything. But I'm
Yep.
talking about the mindset. Their mindset was so black and so masculine that they were always under some type of unfair scrutiny in the media. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were on that independent, get control of your shit, get control of your masters. You know what I'm saying? Don't let control their narrative. Whenever you hit this, when I knew Tiger Woods was gonna start going through shit before he even did it, because the media kept saying Tiger Woods always trying to control his own narrative.
Yep.
They don't want a black man control. They want to be able to write your story.
Yep.
They want to control your perception of you.
Yep.
They don't want no black man controlling his own perception. The reason why Kanye getting hit so hard right now, because 10 years ago, not 10, Kanye started getting more vocal 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
College dropout, late registration time, he spoke up when he wanted to. but not because you were saying anything about him. He spoke about bigger things.
Yep.
There was a lot of gossip about it. I remember Benny Siegel came out and said Kanye West was a fag.
Mm-hmm.
And Kanye, he didn't even address the shit. He was like, man, I love him. I don't know why he said that. He didn't even address it. But Kanye now, you can't come out, can't nobody come out and say nothing about Kanye right now.
Yep.
He ain't going. He taking on all comers. Like Ali said, I'm knocking out all bums.
Mm-hmm.
I'm whooping everybody. Anybody got something to say? You know what I'm saying? He not going because he's controlling his narrative. They don't want no black man controlling their narrative, man. And we might look at it like that's a celebrity thing. Like, no, even in your own family, bro, they don't even know they're doing this. If you're a black man and you want to be looked at a certain way, you'll have your own family.
Yep.
I'm telling you this. Ever since I was 8 years old, I never liked my nickname because my thing is I don't like people calling me something that I didn't give them the right. Even when I was a little kid, I didn't want you calling me anything but my name. You know what I mean? I didn't want no nicknames. I didn't want nothing. No nicknames. Just call me by my name. Did you know? Only the men in my family respected that at first. Only my uncles.
Yep.
Only the men said, "Oh, you want to be called Thomas? All right then." My uncle said, I was 8 years old. My uncle said, "Okay then, all right then." He's like, "I'll call you. What you want me to call you, Thomas? Okay, Thomas." You never call me that shit again. It took me to be 38 years old for the women in my family to say, you know what? Fuck it. You want to know why people want to see you the way they want to see you, the way they want to perceive you.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a black man, you're not expected to have control of your own narrative.
Facts.
People want to tell you what you are, how far you could go, what you could be.
Yep.
Rip be crazy. Whatever you're doing, you can become the best at whatever you're doing. You'll have a nigga come to you and say, "Man, I remember you were doing such and such. You know what he doing? He trying to erase what you're doing right now and bring you back down."
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck you talking about what I was doing in 2002, man?
Yep.
I'm a grown man.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck about what I was doing in 2002, to be honest.
Exactly.
We can laugh, but I don't give a fuck about that.
Mm-hmm.
So people do that. They reminisce to bring you down and to say, "Man, I know what you're doing right this, but man, I remember when you were doing this."
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yep. I remember that shit. And see, I'm glad you brought up Prince because it made me think of Sheila E. with the whole masculinity because they had a brief relationship. And when they asked Sheila E., because, recently she's been opening up about the situation with Prince for the last few years, she said, "We just grew apart. I loved everything that we did together, but we were at a place where it didn't feel right to either of us." But here's the other reason and the caveat, because this is the thing when you're dealing with a masculine alpha male. A woman's going to always tell the truth. She said another reason was that she knew he'd have other relationships. I guess there are some women that don't care if there's other women. I did. That was her response to it. That's why it didn't go forward. I mean, a guy of Prince's magnitude, you think you was going to be the only motherfucker? Come on, man. That shit ain't going to happen. But she was hypnotized. She was hypnotized by him. She said she has not, and her herself, with her musical ability and her ability to play instruments and all that is off the charts. And she said when she was around him, he was so great at what he did, that shit hypnotized her, man. She said till this day, she hasn't met a musician, someone with that level of uncanny ability that was just as great as he was. From A to Z on every note. He knew every musical note. He knew when you was off. Even just a little tad bit, he knew when you was off. Yeah. And he'll run that shit over and over and over again until everything was perfection. She said that whole standard went into her musical career. And she learned her ways of doing things. And she learned her habits through this motherfucker. You see how powerful that shit is?
Mm-hmm.
So people could sit there and think a person is a certain way, like you said. They could think they're feminine or whatever, but in actuality, they're masculine. I was wearing my Prince shirt, Purple Rain, the other day, and the comment. This is how you could tell they always marginalizing black people, right? People was like, "You rock with Prince? Was it Prince gay? Wasn't he feminine or whatever?" I looked at them and I said, so hold up. Y'all sit here and y'all wear Pete Davidson shirts, right? Pete Davidson colors his fingers. I saw somebody with a Pete Davidson shirt the other day. Does he have his fingernails black? Does he have his fingernails red? Did I sit here and tell you if Pete Davidson is gay? He walks around with other people that wear dresses. Did I sit here and tell you that he's gay? So why are you sitting here saying Prince is gay? They shut the fuck up and
Because
went on their merry fucking way.
because in their culture, it's expected of them. They have the freedom to do whatever they want, and in their culture, if they do come out to be gay, there's a very small minority of people who will speak on it,
Mm-hmm.
and those people. But in the black community, there's hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
On one hand, if you're a straight black male that don't really fuck with it, you will have people saying, "Oh, you homophobic, blase, 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 this and the third." And then the same people will use a racial slur to insult you.
Mm-hmm.
So which one is it? You either pro LGBT or you not. Because if you were pro LGBT, you would not use a racial slur to insult a straight black male.
Facts.
All that shit is cap.
Yep.
The black community they cap when they be on that shit, man. Because when you look into black families, the shit they be doing on the shit they do on Facebook, oh man, salute to such and such for coming out. I love that, and they family, their cousin that came out, they don't fuck with their cousin that came out. These black families don't fuck with their cousin that came out because they know something that's not right. Well, they go on Facebook, they go on social media, and they become a whole nother person because that's what's accepted in society.
Facts.
The black community be capping on social media, man. They be capping, man. They don't accept that shit. There's so many black niggas that's in black families right now that's gay, and they depressed because they there's no freedom.
Nope.
But their family members, the same people they can't come out to in real life, is on Facebook talking about, man, rainbow flags and I love the LGBT community.
Yeah.
What the fuck you don't?
Isn't that an oxymoron?
Because as soon as a black man say something you don't like, you call him gay.
Exactly.
How is it an insult? Mm-hmm. If you pro LGBT, then him being gay shouldn't matter, should it?
Yep.
If you so pro LGBT, then why a nigga can't wear a Prince shirt?
That's an oxymoron like a motherfucker.
Why a nigga can't wear a Michael Jackson shirt?
Mm-hmm.
You say you straight with it. So even if they are, why you talking to me about it?
Exactly.
It's all cap, right?
Yep.
We be capping as a community, man.
Mm-hmm.
Saying shit that we know white people want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't honor nobody on my channel with that goofy shit.
Yep.
You get your ass blocked quick if you come on here talking about Master said this, Master said that. I don't give a fuck what Master said. I'm from Chicago. We different. We built different.
Yep.
We don't honor white people like y'all do like that. We don't walk around fucking with them, but we don't fuck with us either. We don't say shit out the way to make them feel good.
And why do you think Black Lives Matter knew that and capitalized off of that? Because Black Lives Matter, their whole premise was to get their sexuality put out front and capitalize it and use black people's name on top of that shit. And they knew the black people were going to use the oxymoron to do that shit. And basically say, well, yeah, we support this. Because here's what was the crutch. If y'all get behind these people that represent pride and represent these types of situations, then by pushing their agenda, we will ultimately on the back end push your fucking agenda. This is how stuck on stupid black people are, because they always put their interests secondary. So you mean to tell me we got to push this agenda first in order to then come back and get some compensation later on to push our shit? No, there was never no mode to push your shit. It was to push that shit in the forefront so your shit could be put and tucked into a fucking corner.
If thing is, they got us separated in all type of subsets, so you can concentrate on what's important, right?
Mhm.
So the two biggest things that ails us as a community is we're divided between our self interest, the interest of women rights, which should be in the interest of black rights,
Yep.
but somehow that's separated, and the interest of LGBT.
Exactly.
First of all these people are black. So black rights is included in all these people. But
Mm-hmm.
somehow, some way, they've been bamboozled to think their subset is bigger than the whole.
Exactly.
And when you think you're bigger than the people, that I take exception to that. Bro, you want to lay up with a man? I don't fuck with that shit, but I don't lose no sleep behind it.
Mm-mm.
But if you think you laying up with a man make you more important than me,
We got a
before
fucking
there
problem.
was used, there was me's.
Yep.
Before that was used, there was me's getting hung just for being a black man
Mm-hmm.
and being strong.
Yep.
So, I'm never gonna put you over me's
No.
over guys like me. Because if it wasn't for guys like me, there would be no you. Because guys like you don't have sex with women.
Because your shit is choice driven. Our shit is actually happening from a economical, mental, psychological, you name that shit. Your shit is choice driven more than anything, and it's causing these byproducts of all of these things happening. But what happens if you don't make the choice? Do you actually go through all that shit? That's what people don't ask themselves that question. When people say there's a gay gene, man, that's the biggest bullshit, bull fucking crock I've ever
There's
heard.
no proof that there's a gay change. There's no proof.
Facts.
Man. There is proof that the way you was raised, the trauma you go through, certain shit that happened to you is a direct reflection. It could be a catalyst to that.
I
Majority
agree
of
with
guys
that.
I've met who went that way, two things happen to guys who molested, man. Either they be sexualized and they attract a lot of women
Mm-hmm.
because the innocence is gone and you learn how to deal with women a lot faster than other
Mm-hmm.
guys, or they be dealing with men, but they
Yep.
be tampered with, they be fucked with.
Mm-hmm.
Because their innocence was taken away from them.
Mm-hmm.
When you ever, yeah, I had a conversation with I say hundreds, man. I'm 38 years old. I've been all over the world. Majority of them, I'll say 8 out of 10 of them were dead bad. Shit happened to them outside of their control. Not one said that they, first of all, that shit that D Wade talking about, he knew his son was a girl when she was 3 is a fucking lie. When you're a
Yeah.
3-year-old, you don't even know you're a human being.
Exactly.
You don't have that type of process. So how the
Mm-hmm.
fuck you know you're a homosexual? You're a girl.
And your
You don't
son,
know,
your younger son, was acting like a boy up until Gabrielle Union came into the picture. Let's just put 2 and 2 together.
right? Let's be honest here.
Mm-hmm.
But you could raise anything to be anything. There's cats that's raised like dogs.
Mm-hmm.
If there ain't no other cat around, the cat
Yeah.
act like a dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could raise a kid to do anything. That's the reason why they
Mm-hmm.
put these kids in dresses at 2 and 3 years old
Yep.
before they could get into puberty. It's harder for a nigga to put on a dress after he already start feeling horny and start wanting women.
Let me tell you what happened, Ross, and you can see this shit. D Wade started. Let me tell you when the change happened. D Wade started acquiescing to Gabrielle Union when there was that whole split time. They had a part, and he had that break baby. So because he wanted the shit to work, a lot of dudes do this shit because they want the relationship to work. They're going to acquiesce to the woman and do this whole 50-50 shit. Now we're back in a relationship. So I can stay in the relationship. I'm going to acquiesce to your requests that are really fucking gaslighting demands. And one of
Not
those
even
is she comes and turns around and tells them, is it okay if your younger son is able to freely express himself? That same younger son, just like the older son, because I remember this shit. I know you remember this shit, Ross. both of them was playing basketball. I remember the young son was on a basketball team. I remember he was in shorts. I remember he was balling. How the fuck he went from that to then out of nowhere, news comes out, oh well, Dwayne Wade's younger son realized that he was a girl the whole time. Bull fucking shit. Because when that younger son was with the original mom, there wasn't none of that shit. Let's just be honest here.
That's the problem they have with Kanye. They want Kanye to just let Kim Kardashian do whatever the fuck she want to do with those kids. Mm-hmm. And if he did that, he would be the father of the year.
Yep.
If Kanye got on TikTok videos with his daughter and made her up and sung goofy songs and put makeup on himself, he'll be the father of the year.
Yeah.
But because he's masculine, he's like, nah, you're not going to do that. He's toxic. And, and it's one thing for white people to say it because that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
It turns my stomach and make me want to spit when black people say it.
Yep.
Because you know you wasn't fucking raised like that.
They want him to Will Smith the kids. And you know what's the funny part about it? Will Smith was having his son and daughter on a line of succession to where they could carry on the legacy. And then when he started letting Jada Pinkett take too much fucking control, now all of a sudden these kids stopped working hard. Because remember, the daughter had a full-fledged musical career. Who was pushing that shit? Will Smith through Jay-Z. The son was an actor. Who was pushing the shit? Who was getting him in those movies? Will fucking Smith. Because last time I remember, Jaden Smith, Karate Kid, all that shit. And me and you was looking at these kids like, damn, they going to carry on the legacy. And then Jada takes control. And now these kids have a mental problem. They have a break. Something's wrong with them.
And the reason why she did that is she didn't want these kids to become more famous than her. It was all about her. Now, if she was super famous, she wouldn't have had a problem with it. Mm-hmm. She would got a problem with her daughter coming on there and doing that show she got. Because she could control her fame level.
Yep.
She had a problem with her being a musical star. Because now she's taking after her father. Her daughter still do music now, but she do the music her mom used to do.
Yep.
It's rock and roll. She had a failed rock and roll career, and now her daughter got a failed rock and roll career.
Yep.
It's all about control. That's the thing. They don't want no black man to have no control over anything, particularly not their seed.
Yep.
Particularly not their seed.
Because those kids would have been superstars by now. There's no reason for them to not be superstars with the trajectory and the way that they were moving when Will Smith was moving them.
If she would have did it just because she didn't want her kids to be, because the thing is, putting your kids in Hollywood, it is twisted. Me personally, I wouldn't do it. If it was from a good thing, a good nature, then I would accept it. But it wasn't because she got her kid on a talk show with her, tearing down black men every day. So it wasn't that she didn't want her in the public eye. She wanted to be able to control it. She wanted the control. And that's the problem I have with it. Because if she just said, you know what, I know what happens in Hollywood with these kids and the music industry. I would have respected that. But it wasn't that. Yep. It was, I don't want you to get all the credit for this. I don't want them to say, oh, they follow your footsteps. Even though she's an actor too, she ain't a big actor. Even though she did music too, she ain't no big musician. So she wanted them to do whatever they're gonna do, but under her footsteps and not do it on a big level like their father.
Facts.
That's the thing. He basically married a woman who's jealous of him.
Yep.
Jealous of him, number one, and who needs a man. Basically, the type of man to have control over Jada Pinkett will be the type of man who, a man who's basically sleeps around and like Tupac. She didn't want those civilized men. She wanted a nigga that was wild. Yep. She thought she wanted Will Smith till she got him. Yep. Then she was like, you know what? I got too much control over him. And that's the thing. That's how they want all black women to not know what to know what they need, but to taste what they want and think they can have both at the same time. That's not how life goes.
Man, you know, every video I've done with Kanye West, this is how you can tell Kanye West is marginalized. Every video I've done with Kanye West, I always go into a limited monetization status, and then when I request review, they leave the shit confirmed as limited monetization status. But everybody else, when I hit that request review, that shit go in the green. I
Yep.
said, damn, this is an interesting dilemma here. An interesting fucking dilemma. And it's not, I'm not titling the shit offensively. I'm not saying anything offensively. It's just the nature of the content.
Well,
And
low
that's when
key,
you realize they don't play the same by the same rules.
Kanye West is he's shadow banned on YouTube because think about it. The worst videos in the world be getting like 30 million views in the first day. That's cap, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you mean tell me a trash ass video like 6ix9ine and Lil Durk and them is getting more videos than the shit that Kanye West be crafting together, that artistic shit that niggas got to keep watching just to know, man. They fucking with the numbers behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So you can look at the video like, oh, he only did 40 million. What you don't realize is if you see a video on YouTube of Kanye West, how popular he is, and he only say 4.5 million. In reality,
That's crazy.
In reality, that's like 400. It's regular niggas on YouTube that get 4.5 million.
Yep.
Regular motherfuckers. Will only know
he should be easily in the hundreds and hundreds of millions. Easily.
Every time he drop a video, it should be at least 100 million. Mm-hmm. They fucking with those numbers, man.
Yeah, they are.
They fucking those numbers are cooked. That shit ain't real, man. That shit ain't real. His popularity is too high. Think about it. Any nigga who just go viral, just by how many else come on this bitch and say, "Man, this shit crazy," and that shit will go viral on Twitter. What is he?
Yeah, they give it to the people that they control. If you notice, the people that get those numbers, and I talked about it earlier, are the LeBron Jameses and the Drakes. Why? Because they're controlled.
They control them.
They control them, so they're like, okay, we're gonna throw the numbers your way.
Yeah, that shit cooked, man. Think about it, man. Drake album came out CLB. Niggas talked about that shit for 2 weeks, man.
Yep.
I didn't hear nobody bumping that shit when it came out. All I heard was niggas bumping that Donda.
Exactly.
And then you look on Spotify, it's like, oh, Drake has billions. Like, where it come from? Who's bumping it?
And it's the hashtag is the one that gets me. Because when you hashtag Drake, that shit say 211K. You hashtag Kanye, that shit say 82K. Clearly there's shadow banning going on. That is a disproportion right there. That should not be the fucking case.
Kanye got 82K just this year alone.
Yeah.
Damn it, any content creator worth they salt done made at least 10 videos about Kanye by now.
Yep.
Just because he hot. So you mean
shit. When his interview with Drink Champs is months now, right? Motherfuckers still making videos about the shit.
Think about that. So you mean tell me one nigga, you hard pressed to, you have to search to see a Drake interview. You gotta look for this shit.
Yep.
All you gotta do is come on YouTube, you're gonna see a clip by Kanye saying something. So how it don't match up, man? That shit, those numbers,
especially now with other people constantly mentioning him. D.L. Hughley, Pete Davidson. Every joke Pete Davidson do on Saturday Night Live, it's like you could tell he's obsessed with Kanye West. So how the fuck?
Yeah, people be saying that. Like, if somebody asked me that shit, I was like, bro, I don't watch Saturday Night Live, bro. That nigga was like, you don't watch that? I'm like, no, man. Why the fuck would I don't watch that? I don't find that shit funny.
No, I don't either.
I don't watch that shit, man. I don't know what the fuck they do on Saturday Night Live. He's like, yeah, you need to watch it because Pete Davidson, he was roasting Kanye. I was like, bro, I don't watch that shit. I was like, why the fuck would I watch Pete? I ain't watch Pete Davidson before he had a problem with Kanye.
Exactly.
I ain't know shit about him.
And the only way we know about the shit is these YouTube shorts and YouTube videos pop up. That's how we know about it. We ain't paying attention.
Right. I ain't know shit about Pete Davidson until he started fucking with Kanye's sloppy section. And that's the thing about it, right? Here's the thing. When Kanye started fucking with Kim Kardashian, she was Ray J sloppy seconds. Pete Davidson started fucking with Kim Kardashian, and all of a sudden he took Kim Kardashian from Kanye and Kanye. You see how they spin the narrative?
They spin that shit.
Ain't she still sloppy seconds?
Mm-hmm.
Now she ain't sloppy seconds. Now Keith Davidson, he took away a good woman, a great woman from Kanye. Like, bro,
Yeah, that's what they said. Because I heard an interview with him. Matter of fact, I'm doing the shorts on this shit where he's bragging about how he walks down the street with her, and it's like a show. It's like a zoo. Guys are checking her out, and he's just bragging about this is the woman that I'm with. You do that shit. Let me tell you something, man. If you're gonna do that shit to a woman, you're gonna do that shit to a woman that's usually what you would consider wifey fucking material, right? Motherfucker that you would consider not Kim Kardashian's checkered past. If you are going to do that to a woman with her fucking checkered past, you don't do shit like that to her. Kanye didn't treat her that way, and that's why she's mad coming out saying Kanye is saying that I'm no longer with him. My career is over.
it is.
My career
Nobody,
is over. I could see Kanye telling some shit like that.
but no, but thing is, even if he did say that, it's the truth. My thing
Mm-hmm.
is, anything she say Kanye said, I'm automatically gonna say he didn't say that
Mm-hmm.
because they're not trustworthy people. All they do is narrative, so I'm automatically think she's lying.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the truth. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything she wears now, people saying it's trash. They weren't saying that when she was with Kanye.
Yeah,
She could
she was
wear
wearing
whatever
some
she
yellow warning. Man, that motherfucker would look at her like, "What the fuck you wearing, man?" Because he had
with
a
Kanye.
specific designer for her that was that knew how to wear clothes that was for her velour and her body shape. And she no longer has that motherfucker. Now she's just doing whatever the fuck she want to do.
When she was with Kanye, she was validated
Mm-hmm.
as a human being. But before that, she was just somebody that was getting fucked.
That's
She was,
it.
she was validated as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like this how you know the black community is all working with feelings because just what 5 6 years ago, black women was saying she appropriated black culture.
Oh boy.
All of a sudden, y'all going to bat and y'all
Wow.
talking about Kanye toxic.
With that diaper fucking booty, how did she appropriate black culture with a diaper booty?
This what black women. This what they
But you
do.
know what? You know what though? She did proselytize these black women because me and Ross was talking about that shit on another live where a lot of these black women now have deformed fucking bodies, adding shit on top of their original shit that was already beautiful in of itself. So yeah, she has fucked them up from that
All the
essence.
fuck they, and that's just laziness. All the fuck they have to do that because they don't have the
Mhm.
genetics. You have genetics. You just gotta take care of your body and eat right,
That's it.
and you'll get thick.
That's it.
That's just like that's for me personally. I would if it's because some of them have them done right. It's soft back there.
Mhm.
We could have fun, but you could never be my woman if you augment your body.
Yeah,
Because
like
that's
like like on Real Housewives of Atlanta. There's this woman. I think she's just a natural beauty. What was her name? Candace Burris or some shit like that. Um, the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think this woman is a natural beauty. She's smart. She got a little business shit going on. She was with that group. With that group with the other woman is married to Ti or some shit like that. But anyways, this motherfucker every second is getting some nip tuck, tummy tuck, but she has a natural good woman's body, which all she got to do is just keep her ass active. You got the money. If you don't want to stay disciplined, get you a fucking personal trainer, man. Get you a nutritionist. Like, you got the money for that shit. Why you sitting here and always getting a nip in the fucking tuck?
it's called. I want to do what I want to do. When you want to do what you want to do all the time, no discipline, no anything, then
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna take the easy way out and say, okay, damn, I done got fat again. I got 8, 9, 10,000. Fuck it, tuck it away.
Yep.
Instead of just making the conscious choices to live your life clean, just do that. You know what I'm saying? That comes from the mindset of either I want to do what I want to do, and I pay somebody to do the hard shit for me, or this is what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, so I want to keep up.
And if you live your life that way, you could never be my girl because you're gonna pass that mentality down to my kid.
Exactly.
What if I get you pregnant? You're gonna pass that shit down to my kid. I don't want no kid of mine having the mentality that they don't got to put in hard work for what they want.
Man, let me tell y'all something. You know, Jay-Z, the richer Jay-Z get, the more frugal this motherfucker get. I seen a suit that Jay-Z's wearing now that I've seen at the Target store. I was laughing my ass off, and this motherfucker had that suit at the last Grammys. I was laughing my fucking ass off. That's why I say a lot of people they got their priorities fucked up. Candace is sitting here nipping and tucking and doing all this shit, and Jay's like, man, fuck a haircut. You know what I'm saying? I ain't getting no fucking haircut, man. I'm gonna keep my shit dreaded the fuck up. You know, I'm
Right.
gonna wear simple clothes because materialism, and this is what I'm speaking on. Materialism is a thing that fucks black people up to a level that it's not even funny, man. The older they would get, you would think the more minimalist they would be. Me and Ross was talking about, we was having a real powwow the other day, and we both were talking about how we've evolved and how more minimalist we both have become through just experiences, like shit that we would just buy consistently on the random. As we've gotten older, we're like, man, this shit don't, man. Yeah, I still want to look nice here and there, but I mean, shit, it's like whatever. But a lot of these motherfuckers, they want to keep up with the Joneses, right, Ross? So they got to nip and fucking tuck. They got to do this. They got to do that.
They
But
don't
really,
have
that
to. They
shit
can work.
don't mean
They can
nothing.
work their ass out.
Yeah.
It's laziness, man. It's laziness because you can keep up with the Joneses. There's nothing wrong with keeping up with the Joneses if you can afford to do it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with keeping up with the Joneses body wise if you take care of yourself. There's something wrong when you don't want to do the work and you do that because what you're doing is you're saying I'm too lazy to work for the desired result.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing when don't want to you don't want to do no plumbing, so you hire a plumber. If
Mm-hmm.
everybody do their own plumbing, you put people out of work. I'm not going to plumb shit. I'm gonna have a plumber come do it. Why? Because he needs to work. Number one. Number two,
Yeah.
I got other shit to do. I don't got time to do that. But that's not my body. That's
Mm-hmm.
apparatus. My body is my concern, not a doctor's. Physically, going in there and cutting out fat, like no. If you do it once, he gonna have to do it twice. If you do it
Mm-hmm.
twice, you gotta do it 3 times. Cause my eating habits gonna reappear because I can just pay $8, 9, $10,000 because I got it, and they could do that.
Yeah.
But what happens when they fuck around and I get septic shock and I die and shit?
Mm-hmm.
Because you could die on that table.
Yep. Consistently, because you keep going out and coming back up. Who's to say
Not
you
only,
ever gonna get up?
not even that, because people do that all the time, like dental work and shit. But they're cutting into you, and it's a conscientious effort for them not to not to accidentally poison you, not for you to accidentally get your bloodstream tampered with.
Mm-hmm.
If the wrong shit get in your blood, the wrong chemical get in your blood, you go to septic shock.
Yeah.
Basically, you start dying automatically and shit.
And sleep is the cousin to death. Who's to say every time you go to sleep, your ass gonna get the fuck up?
Right.
I mean, shit, it could be any given moment. And here's the other trip part about it. There are women that are naturally thick as they've gotten older, and they've accepted to it. They've come into it. Me and Ross was talking about Rihanna. Once she hit 25 plus, boom, that body changed. Beyonce. I like the fact that Beyonce is a little bit. I've always liked Beyonce a little bit more plump. That's just me. When she was like really active and dancing and shit like that, she looked kind of a little anorexic. That's just me. So some women having a little bit more weight on them, it works for them in their favor. But she's healthy though. She's not like sitting here so abnormally obese or big and then doing nip and tuck. No, it's her natural weight. I'm sure she still works out. She still does what she has to do to keep herself together. She just got a little bit more weight on her. That's different than these motherfuckers that's just lazy as fuck. You see their ass. You turn on a reality TV show, and there's not a moment I kid you not. You go look from season 1 all the way up to when they had that first season, right? The Ross, and they was just starting to get those checks to all the way to season 7. That face looks completely different, man. Mm-hmm. That body looks completely different. It's like the motherfucker look like, you know what I call these motherfuckers that get nipples? I call them what was that? What was the name of that pig on Muffet Babies? They all started looking like that. What's the name of the pig? You remember the name of the pig?
Oh no, Miss Piggy.
Miss Piggy. They all start looking like Miss fucking Piggy in the face, man. I don't know what it is about the nip and tucks, but they ass all start looking like Miss fucking Piggy, man.
Man, that shit ain't real, man. The thing about it is this. That's what probably kill me when niggas keep saying Kanye dated some Kim Kardashian looking like. First of all, my nigga Kim Kardashian don't even look like Kim Kardashian.
Facts.
Like she didn't want to look like Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian look like somebody else.
Yeah.
So how you gonna say another bitch like Kim Kardashian?
Are they talking about the Cheney Jones?
Anybody Kanye deal with now look like Kim Kardashian.
Because that motherfucker look to me facially, and I don't know how you see it, Ross, but facially she looks better than Kim to me.
First of all,
that's my opinion.
Anybody look better than Kim Kardashian because the face she got now is not real.
Mm-hmm.
I still see Kim Kardashian how she looked naturally.
Yeah.
She wasn't ugly, but that shit ain't real. So yeah, man. I can't sit and say she's beautiful to anybody because all that shit is not real.
Exactly. She's not herself.
It's not real. Those kids look like the way they look because of Kanye. All them kids like Kanye.
The last motherfucker that was holding up herself, and I think she started fucking with herself, was that older sister, Courtney. But then I started seeing recent pictures of her, and I was like, she's starting to fuck with herself too. So now I can't say that no more. But she was holding up natural for a very long time. But I guess that's the life of being a Jenner or a Kardashian, and even the younger ones.
And her shit is small.
Mm-hmm.
Courtney still look like herself. It's small shit she do.
Yeah.
Because I always thought she was the prettiest one.
I did too.
She still like herself.
And you see that y'all motherfuckers see me and Ross, we blood brothers, boy. I did too. I thought Courtney was the prettiest one.
Kim Kardashian don't look like herself at all.
Even when she was at her prime, I just thought they overrated her, man. That's just my honest opinion. Now we all can agree Khloe is the worst looking one. I mean that just goes without saying.
Yeah. Nah. Because the other ones look horrible. When they had this shit. Kendall and Kylie.
Yeah, Kendall. Yeah.
They didn't even have lips.
Yeah, they was trash.
They look like little monkeys.
Yeah, they were trash.
They didn't even have no lips, man.
They had to get fillers and all that bullshit.
Truth be told, I see why they got it.
Yeah, them I can see why.
They needed it.
Yeah, they fucking needed it because they wasn't gonna get the artists that they got with them to be with their ass and have babies with them if they didn't get fillers and shit like that. Travis Scott wouldn't have been fucking with them like that. I mean, they and they started early. They was doing this shit since what, 18, 19?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this shit was crazy, bro.
And that going to show you their mama don't give a fuck about that. Their mama exploited. She exploited all her kids.
Yeah.
And then niggas like, yo, why Kanye tripping? Because Kanye don't want Kim, because Kim ain't gonna do shit but what her mother did.
Man, I'm gonna tell you some shit. This shit gonna make you laugh. There was one time Kris Jenner did an interview. I thought her lip was gonna fucking pop. That's how big she did the filler. That shit was funny as fuck. I was like, does she realize how big her lips look right now? She can't even talk. She can't even get her words out.
She look dumb as fuck. The thing about it is also real shit.
Mm-hmm.
People don't really know what he's fighting for when it comes to it. If he don't fight for his children and he don't expose, because if he might not win, but as long as he can expose it, then people will be able to peep and be like, oh yeah, she's doing that shit Kanye warned us about.
Yeah.
He don't want Kim Kardashian to do what Kim Kardashian's mother did to her. And she basically hold her out. She holds her out.
She extorted her, man. Let's just be honest. It's extortion.
She sexually exploited her own children.
And extorted them.
For fame.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So
and still doing the shit. Matter of fact, people said on Keeping Up with the Kardashians that Kim and them was mentally talking about the shit. I didn't even know they was having mental trauma about the mom extorting them. They said there was episodes where they were talking about the shit. I didn't even know that was going on. Where
and
they
that's
said
the thing.
the mom fucked them up mentally because the mom was putting all these pressures on them. I didn't even know this shit was going on because I never watched the shit.
Yeah, think about it. You got 4 daughters. No, 5.
Mm-hmm.
5 daughters, and they all got plastic surgery. Where does that mentality come from that you ain't good enough?
Yep.
The mother.
Yep.
And you think Kanye want that for his kid?
Nope.
No. But he well within his rights.
Yep.
And I'm gonna always stand on that because I'm a dad, man. I'm gonna always stand on that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna always stand on that, man. And for the life of me, I'm looking at black people like, bro, why are you even talking?
Mm-hmm.
And it goes to show you just how much envy black people be having. And I didn't realize this. I didn't realize a lot of fights I was having in grade school was just because I had a dad, man.
Facts.
And niggas didn't. I didn't realize how jealous people was of me.
Mm-hmm.
Because in our community, niggas don't get with you and ask you. They're not vulnerable. They'll be like, man, what's your father say about this situation? They just fight you, man, because they like, man, I don't got no fucking dad, man. That shit ain't fair.
Facts.
So a lot of this shit you see going Kanye way is because niggas is mad they dads wasn't there.
Yep.
Man, my father never fought for me. My mama did whatever the fuck she wanted to do to me. He wasn't there. And the black community say you can't be mad at your mother. You gotta stop whatever she do to you. So you internalize that hatred and then you put it on your dad. But truth be told,
And they taking out that mangina out on Kanye West.
And truth be told, if your mother was a stand-up woman, you would have no hatred in your heart.
Facts.
You don't have even for an absent father, you won't have no hatred in your heart.
Yep.
If she would stand up.
Yep.
I see it. I see when mothers are stand-up women. The kids don't even hate the dad that's not there.
Yeah.
Because she don't talk bad about
shit. They're not gonna sit there and talk shit about the man to their kid.
They don't talk bad about him. That's why.
When they start doing shit like that and they start talking shit, even if you are a boy and you are protruding and buzzing testosterone of masculinity, that's a feminine characteristic that's being basically embedded into you. So now you're going to start seeing shit that way. So when you start seeing the father, you're going to view him in a very emotional way. That's what Tariq was doing to fucking Ghost. And motherfuckers wasn't realizing the shit. Every time Tariq saw Ghost with Angela Valdez or every time he was in a room with Ghost, I hate him. I fucking hate him. And every time you had Kanan and Tommy telling Tariq, your father loves you. He loves you more than you would even ever fucking know. Why don't you talk to him?
Niggas are raised to be women with dicks, man.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these men are women with dicks. Why I say that is because a real man, when you have a limit on your truth to where you can correct everybody, but you can't correct your mom.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody is accountable for what they do, but not your mom. There's an excuse for her.
Yep.
But your dad, there ain't no excuse for him.
Oof.
But your mother beat the fuck out of you every day.
That nigga said women with dicks. Gosh.
Like, bro, there's no excuse for nobody, man. Mm-hmm. You was a kid. Mm-hmm. Your father should have been there. He should have fought for you. And your mother should have treated you that way.
Yep.
And as a young, that's why I think God gave me the ability to stand up for myself, man. Because as a kid, I'll be like, you know what? I'm not getting treated fair here. I don't want to be here, man.
Yep.
Straight up.
I share that with you, bro.
As a little nigga, I was able to say that.
Mm-hmm.
I love you to death, but I don't gotta be here. I'll go to my granny house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You ain't treating me fair. You treating these niggas better than me.
Yeah, or challenge anything your mom say. Anything you know that your mom say that is just gaslighting or they're just being narcissistic. Challenge that shit, man.
Man. Like, fuck no, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's why when I finally got back in contact with my biological dad, I met him and shit. And he saw me he started tearing up, and he was like, "Hey man," he's like, "Listen, you know, I was in your life when you was younger,
Mm-hmm.
but he's like, man, your mother's up the move. I lost contact with you, but I'm not gonna say nothing negative about her. I don't know if she lost my number, but just know I always thought about it. I said, man, you don't gotta explain anything. I was like, for my formative years, if I can remember, you made an effort. Me thing is, I go by effort.
Mm-hmm.
If I can remember, you made an effort, and I knew how my mother was too,
Mm-hmm.
and she has reasons to be how she was because she went through some shit. I'm
Mm-hmm.
able to say, you know what? Don't even worry about it, man. We got now.
Do you look just like him,
We got no. Truth be told,
or the mixture of both?
nah. Truth be told, I look like a I look like a uncle.
Okay, so it'd
I
be
look
like that sometimes too. It'd be like that sometimes.
I look like an uncle three generations past. I don't look
Mm.
like my I don't like my mother or my father, but people say I act just like my dad.
Mm.
You know
So
what
how
I'm saying?
was that experience? I'm sure it was. I know it was emotional, but how surreal was it that y'all were able to have that conversation? You being an adult and you being able to understand that and just say, I understand that's how she was, and how long did that last?
Me personally, because I seen so many niggas come up with no fathers,
Mm,
I never held no ill will against my dad because I knew because I had something that I knew thousands of men that had. I knew who my father was.
mm-hmm,
I knew who I knew who my granny was on that side.
mm-hmm,
I had knew cousins. I knew so I can so the fact that I knew that and I had those memories of him coming to get me and we spent time with him and you know what I mean and how I could do no wrong in his eyes and shit and like basically like because I was his first son and shit, it was like I could do whatever, man. Like it was like
mm-hmm,
that's my son, man. You know what I'm saying? Like man, like he tripping right now, but
mm-hmm,
he's like that little nigga tripping right now, man.
mm-hmm.
But and then like man, you whoop us, why you ain't whooping him? Like man, that's my only son, man. I can't do that, man. You know, he
Yeah,
have a temper tantrum right now, man. He's gonna be all right. You just
yeah.
let me have whatever, however I was feeling. He just let me feel that way. But man, you all right, man? You good now? Yeah, all right. You hungry? Like yeah, give me something to eat and shit. Then whatever, you know what I mean?
So
Then
you got a lot of you because listening to you say that about him, a lot of your characteristics are like that. Like you just
yeah,
kind of just like okay, whatever with shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing that. Like I'm hearing that you got a lot of those personality traits from your dad.
because kids shouldn't get beat for everything, man.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes kids are doing shit because they don't know how to express themselves any other way.
Facts.
So all they know is they're irritated.
Mm-hmm.
So us as adults, we if you ask me, children are more you're people don't I feel like people like man, people act like children are stupid. I feel
Yeah,
like the older you get unchecked, the dumber you get.
that's
Because
facts.
children know how to express their anger. Adults act like they not mad when they really mad and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Kids don't act like they not mad when they really mad. When a kid get mad, nigga, I'm mad.
Facts.
When a kid gets sad, I'm sad. When they want to cry, they cry. When they want to laugh, they laugh. They know how to emotionally express themselves. The older we get, the more fucked up we get. Society
Mm-hmm.
teaches we got to be different. And you can't do this, you can't do that. But that's why so many niggas on so much medication, they so fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Niggas supposed to cry, nigga ain't cried in years, man.
Yep.
Nigga don't know how to be happy. He always looking for something to be fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And
Like,
and 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 it's interesting you said that because that's why the good book says children are the light of the world because they always get you to see everything in its most purest and most forefront way. We as a lot of times as adults, because we think we always know every fucking thing or we think we got life figured out, forgetting that we were fucking kids and we were innocent and we had shit going on. We always want to be in that instructive mode, always want to be in that teaching mode, but a lot of times you're a kid at heart too, and there's moments where you just it's shit you gotta fucking learn and shit that you're innocent about, and there's experiences that you don't fucking know, And it's okay in that moment to be the child and take in, as opposed to always telling motherfucker shit all the fucking time.
The big problem with our people is we make kids into adults way too fast. A kid ain't got no business watching his siblings, man. You gotta get your shit together.
Yep.
A kid's supposed to be a kid, man.
Yep.
The kid ain't got no business being responsible for the siblings. Because now you put them in an adult situation. What happens when you flip out? He beat the hell out of one of them kids. Now what? Now you want to whoop him. He shouldn't have been responsible for them kids to begin with.
Yep.
Kids supposed to be allowed to be fucking children. That's why I am with my kid, man. Like sometimes my daughter, I let her express herself. Sometimes she be way off base. I don't tell her to be quiet. I ask pointed questions like, "You sure you right about this?" And I, you know what I mean. I maneuver and give certain angles of how to think, and you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, man, she got to learn how to think for herself. I can't tell her everything, and everything ain't just you wrong, I'm right because I'm older than you. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people like, yo, why you raised her that way? Because, man, I raised her the way I wish somebody would. I had the intelligence to be raised a different way, and people didn't do it. And my daughter has the same intelligence. So it's not all about just taking your butt off and just beating the hell out of them, man. Some things require that good ass woman. Most things don't, man.
Most things don't.
Most things don't require you getting your ass beat till you black out. Most things don't require that. A lot of ass women, that's the reason why they murderers right now. Because they got treated like animals. You know what I mean? Most things don't require
they only reenacting what they know.
some things require. One thing I realize is when people that are highly intelligent, they don't but they still got the child mind. It's better to talk to them because that's worse than them you whooping them because they have the mindset that they already know, and now you're forcing them to be lectured. They don't like that shit.
This is the moment. This is the moment where the Phil Jackson thing works, where you just let them be.
Right, you know what I mean? You lecture they motherfucking ass. That's what some children don't need to get beat. Because what they doing is they're doing shit that is way too smart. A whooping not going to change them. You got to convince them that what they doing is not where they need to go.
Yep.
And then if they don't listen, they just run to the brick wall. Then they'll come back and say, "Yeah, you was right."
Facts.
But that's what ain't gonna change that. It just make them find a way to do it to where you don't find out.
Exactly. It do it to make the shit worse. But this is where Phil Jackson got lazy with the shit. Phil Jackson just did it all overboard. But this is where the Phil Jackson Zen master come into play, where you're dealing with somebody that's highly bright and highly intellectual. You let them figure the shit out. You don't gotta sit there, hold their fucking hand all the way through, because you could trust and know and that you've already delegated what you delegated to them. You've given them the root and the foundation of what they need. Now, with the foundation that they have, you're trusting that they'll figure it out in their own way. Because at the end of the day, they're their own being and they're gonna grow into their own adult. So you're allowing them that freedom to have that without crippling them and making them vicariously be what you want them to be. And you see that in sports figures like Teofimo Lopez dad and the way that he's vicariously wants his son to be like him. You see that shit in certain people. You know, you don't have to force shit so much into the kid to where now the kid goes, and that's why Teofimo Lopez, when he lost the way he did, he had the breakdown that he had. That's why he had the sore losers mentality. You know why? Because he was reenacting the vicarious attitude that he's always seen his fucking fathers had. Let's be honest.
Because his father got that attitude.
Yeah.
If he had a dad that was like, man, you win something, you win with grace, you lose with grace, then he would be like, you know what? Hey, this guy was the better man. Which he was. Like me, I'm gonna call it straight. If I think somebody lost, I think they lost.
Yeah.
I thought Lomachenko lost, and I thought he lost, and I thought it was clear. You know what I'm saying? But when you win with grace, you gotta lose with grace. This is why I always tell people that. I said Floyd not gonna lose. But if Floyd did lost, you know how Floyd would lose? The same way he lost in the beginning.
Yeah.
And if fair and square, he won't be emotional about it. He'll just be like, man, I wasn't the better man. Because he was classy when he lost in the Olympics.
Yeah. And that's why he's the one that came up with the saying, a minor setback for a major comeback.
Yeah. He
He
was hurt.
that saying didn't come out of nowhere. That saying came out of, like you said, when he lost in the Olympics.
Yeah.
He had the
Yeah.
minor setback for the major
He,
comeback.
he was hurt because he knew he was robbed.
Yep.
So he was hurt, but he still didn't lose his composure.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't lose his composure. You know what I mean? And when
But
they
boy,
said,
man, for Floyd Mayweather to lose the Raw, it would have to be a boxer that would have to be out of this world, because Floyd just don't cheat, man. That's one thing about Floyd. I gotta give him, that motherfucker don't drink. That motherfucker don't cheat, dog. He don't cheat when you don't cheat when you built a certain way, you don't cheat the system. Floyd Mayweather's work ethic and Kobe Bryant's work ethic, people don't talk about that shit enough. But them motherfuckers' work ethic is, I don't think we'll ever see those two level of work ethics ever again, man. That shit is bananas, dog. Just thinking about that shit from a sports standpoint. Let me make that clear. From a sports standpoint, I don't think we'll ever see these levels of work ethics ever again, man.
but that's the reason why they had to denigrate him, because they had high work ethic and it was intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to denigrate him. You still got to this day. You got black people. You know they say whatever white people say. You still got black people who haven't accomplished shit in their life that will say Floyd can't read.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got the best reading. You got the best reading scholastic scores in your class, and you ain't accomplished shit in your life. Obviously, you can't read neither. You can't read better than Floyd.
Nah.
Obviously, you reading the wrong shit.
Nah.
How
and it's 50 cents. See, they always use a token nigga to do that shit. It was 50 cents that put that shit in people's heads, that Floyd couldn't fucking read, blah, blah, blah. Because I did a shorts where Floyd said, I didn't get here, just not by reading everything. I read everything that's in front of me before I sign.
Right.
So how the fuck was he illiterate and he couldn't fucking read when he read everything? And we seen it. You and I've seen it. When they put a contract or some shit in front of Floyd, hold up. I ain't just gonna sign this shit. And then Floyd stop everything. Because he don't know what the fuck he's signing. That makes sure everything's all on point.
First of all, here's another thing people need to understand. You could be the best reader in the world and don't understand what a contract is saying.
Mm-hmm.
Because the contract is not written in English. It's written in Latin.
Exactly.
For a reason. Because they know you don't know how to read it. And they know only people know how to read this shit is lawyers and fucking priests.
Yep.
It's maritime law. So that's why it's in Latin. So you got to hire somebody to do it.
Exactly.
Very few regular people know how to read just a contract.
Yep.
It don't matter how good you can read. So
Ross is telling the truth with that shit.
So that being said,
that's why they call that shit the fine line, boy, and the fine print.
Right. So that being said, the average nigga saying, first of all, majority of people in America, this is the stats that majority of people don't read at the level they're supposed to read, which makes them illiterate. Illiterate don't mean
majority of niggas, they get a contract in front of them. You know what they do, Ross? Because they just feel like they need to be there. They just sign the shit.
Yeah.
They in their minds, they feel they've already read it because they've read it through what a person has told them, not through them actually reading shit, and they just sign on the dotted line. Let's be honest.
Illiterate niggas, people that are illiterate, or people who call other people illiterate, don't know. Illiterate doesn't mean you can't read at all.
Yep.
Illiterate means you don't read at the level that the American society says you should be reading at that age. And by that case, majority of niggas, especially majority of black niggas, is illiterate, man.
The same motherfuckers that tell you that the motherfuckers illiterate.
Right, they're illiterate too.
And they even more illiterate than the motherfucker they saying that's illiterate. That's the truth part about it.
Just break down the texts that they break down the comments they put in the comment section, and you have to rephrase the shit just to make sense of it.
Man, have you gone through a comment section on YouTube? And shit, put a comment in right now. I I dare y'all put a comment in right now and watch Ross dissect you motherfuckers quick, fast, in a hurry like UPS. You better spell. This ain't for the faint-hearted. You drop a comment in our shit, your monkey ass better learn how to fucking spell. Because if you don't know how to fucking spell, we're gonna pick your ass apart.
And the thing about it is, I'm not even on Nazi like that. My problem is how people just so comfortable talking down on their own people. There's no code.
Yep.
There's no code, man.
Yep.
Why are you so comfortable with saying anything as soon as it come out about your own people? As soon as it come out on Twitter, niggas is saying this shit on their Facebook. Like, bro, you didn't do no research. Do this make sense? Y'all let DL Hughley tell. No, not DL Hughley. Y'all let Trevor Noah tell y'all that y'all think Kanye gonna kill Kim Kardashian. Mm-hmm. When has Kanye ever showed violent temperament?
Yeah.
Mind you, it's rappers who actually kill people and rap about it.
Man, Kanye speaks so proper, and Kanye's English and his diction and his cadence and the way he speaks, it's impressive, man. That shit is off the charts, if you ask me. I'll sit here and listen to Kanye talk all day, every day, man. The motherfucker know how to do.
Yeah, but that don't mean shit though.
I know it don't mean shit, but I'm just saying, for motherfuckers that want to criticize and say this and say that, Kanye actually, you could tell he's well read. He researches, he studies. He ain't no dumb motherfucker, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could put his shit together.
Yeah.
That's a little different than a motherfucker that people are judging. And a lot of times, and even those guys, they may not be able to speak the best, right? They may not even be able to say shit. Like, Floyd is not a person that says all of the quote unquote most profound things. But if you listen to Floyd talk and you listen to his key points, there's profoundness in it, man.
Me personally,
I listen to him speak because I know every time Floyd does an interview, there's gonna be some kind of gem or jewel that's gonna be dropped in that shit, and then he's gonna walk away. Yeah. He's gonna walk away with you having a learning experience for him to not be a Obama level orator, because it don't take that. All it takes is the person being an impactful person.
That's the thing. Yeah, Obama, he can orate, but I'm not impressed by Obama. To me, intelligence is not how you sound; it's what you do.
Exactly.
It's not how you sound; what you do. There's a lot of people from the South. You sound according to who you're around, man.
Yeah.
But that don't mean anything. Just not your language.
Yeah.
Who knows how eloquent you will sound in your natural language?
Exactly.
So now I don't give a fuck about the English language like that. To where
I don't either.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna tell you right now, AMS to me is a country bumpkin Bama, but that motherfucker is so charming, hilarious, and he gets his point across in a very clear way. And it's just he articulates himself in a very clear way on his, and he's being real to who he is as a person. I feel like it don't matter to what you talk, it don't matter your level of education, it don't matter none of that. What I care about is your message clear? Can I understand what the fuck you're talking about? And is what you saying profound? That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Are you able to tell me something that's impactful? I don't care if you could sound like fucking Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith sounds stupid half the times. Half the times he don't even need to say the words he's fucking saying. He's just saying that shit to make himself sound better than what the fuck he is.
Yeah, I mean, he's mastered the English language, but to me, if you don't have the intelligence to know what you're doing to your own people, then you're not smart. I don't care how you sound.
Yeah.
I don't care how you sound. There's a lot of good talking Negroes that don't mean shit to me. Like,
exactly.
Y'all don't mean nothing. Your intelligence is what you do. Stupid is as stupid does, man. If you make good decisions all the time, obviously highly intelligent, man.
Yep.
Floyd Mayweather, Kanye West, these niggas, Kobe Bryant before he passed, these niggas made good decisions on the overall.
Decisions.
Not people look at the worst thing they ever done. Mm-hmm. When you black, it's not about what you're doing good. It's about the worst thing you ever done.
Yeah.
It's niggas that is sitting around, don't got shit, live with somebody else. That when they look at Kanye, they just think about a MAGA hat.
Yeah.
Not that makes them feel good.
Yeah.
They can't think about the billionaire because the billionaire reminds them, oh, you like damn, I live with another nigga. I
Yeah.
gotta wait for everybody to go to sleep so I can wake up my bed. They
Yeah.
bed is the couch.
Or some niggas that sit here, for me to start my YouTube channel, I have to have, the Pro Tunes and the Auto Tunes, and I have to have the right mic, and I just have to have the green background and this and that, and I everything got to be on point. Well, what? 0 subscribers? Are you fucking kidding me? There's motherfuckers out here. They have vacuums behind them. I have a video, man. They have a fucking vacuum behind this shit. Me and Ross be laughing about this shit. I'm talking about Apple, what was it? Um, um, Apple cider vinegar. That bitch got 82K. I got a fucking vacuum behind me. Are you fucking kidding me, man? So let's stop the bullshit. Is it really the scenery or is what you fucking saying? It's like in that video I said what people wanted to fucking hear. It wasn't nothing special. That was my first time on YouTube too, man. I just said, you know what, man, I feel like I had something to say. Let me fucking say it about that topic. And people resonated with it. People wanted to hear about apple cider vinegar, want to hear about black seed oil. I don't know. They just wanted to hear the shit. So really, is it background or is it what the fuck you're saying at the moment that people want to fucking hear? So do you need a green screen? There's motherfuckers that got green screens, and Ross is at, I just checked the numbers right now. He's at 1.23K lapped over their ass, washing their ass. Motherfuckers still stuck at 2.17K. But he had a green screen. He had an intro. You know what I'm saying? He was speaking your mind with the sports and the fucking talks and got lapped the fuck over. So really, is it about the metrics or is it about the fucking message? And you got motherfuckers that me start a fucking channel up telling you every time. It's 3-4 years later, man. I need this, I need that, I need that mic, man. I need that blue mic. You know what I'm saying? And motherfuckers like, yo, this is what motherfuckers don't understand. I'm actively doing this shit. You can't actively tell a motherfucker that's doing the shit how to do their shit. Let me tell you guys something. The only motherfucker I respect that'll give me any advice, constructive criticism wise or anything on YouTube is Ross, and vice versa. Ross will take constructive criticism from me. You know why? We're actively doing the shit and we're learning from each other, man. Just doing the shit. But any other motherfucker outside that shit, man, go sit your ass down. And I'm gonna tell you something. I've said this before. Anybody that has the gumption and the audacity to do a YouTube channel and show some level of marginal success, or even show a high level of success, I respect a person like that, because Ross knows what goes into it. I know what goes into it. There's a lot of shit behind the scenes, creativity wise, thought process wise, consistency wise, discipline wise, all that shit that goes into it. So please don't tell me 4 years later you've done a few lives with me and now, oh well, look here, man. I want compensation and I want money. And look here, motherfucker, your face being on the screen is compensation. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you that shit. Be lucky your face was on the screen. Then you want to black out. Then you want to come back in. You want to comb your fucking beard. Hey, Ross, no, sometimes I gotta go in roast mode, man, because the topic Ross was talking about applied. It was contextualized. Usually when it makes sense, you gotta fit. Don't be coming up in here combing your fucking beard and doing all this other bullshit, being unprofessional. You listen, man. You lucky I'm not docking you fucking time. And then you want a black screen. Have you guys seen a black screen from me or Ross this whole time we've been on live? Or have you guys been seeing our face the whole fucking time? And you got the nerve to want to get a paycheck? Man, go sit your monkey ass down. I'm sorry, Ross. I had to have a little roast session right there, man.
Yeah, man. This been another great live, man.
A huge, great live.
Mm-hmm.
So, any closing thoughts, bro?
That's all I got, man. Another great
Okay.
live, man. Tom Ross TV. He knows the sports. Stay tuned.
Yeah, and I close with this. If you 4 years in and you ain't got no channel started, don't come over here and tell us how to run our fucking channels. And if you sitting here and you still stuck at 2.17K, Don't tell us about no back screen or none of that bullshit. Get your weight up and do what the fuck you got to do, man. And that's all I got to say with that. Y'all tune in tomorrow. Y'all check us out. Tom Ross is separating the weak from the fucking strong. He knows everything is bringing that heat and that fire. And y'all enjoy y'all Saturdays, man. Be safe out there. Make sure y'all wash y'all hands. If y'all in areas where y'all gotta be masked the fuck up, do what y'all gotta do. Ross, I know you're gonna be doing your shit. Y'all be easy, be safe. Peace.